What we have is we have a dead pastor inside of a church.
I didn't kill my pastor.
Well, then
I go to church. You guys from
what church? What church do you go to?
I go to church every Sunday.
Okay. If you didn't kill him, who did?
What you said?
He killed them, and then I know, and he killed one is a pastor and the secretary. He told me. He told me.
In March of 2011, beloved Reverend Clint Dobson would enter the halls of his own church, but he would never make it back out. His murder marked one of the most gruesome deaths in Texas history and would dominate news headlines for months to come.
A Hispanic lady, a news lady on the news last night, she was talking about it. They were sitting there laughing about it.
Two friends are the most likely culprits, but they're both pointing the finger at each other.
I want you to know that I know he did do that, and I had nothing to do with that.
That little hint of yours is just there. You're saying AG did this? Because I'll tell you what he's saying. He's saying it wasn't me, it was you.
Now it's up to the detectives to determine who is lying, and the wrong choice could condemn an innocent man to death.
And he was like, AG didn't kill that man.
We need answers. We don't need bullshit. And right now you're scooping on bullshit, Dick.
Because he was with me the whole day, and there's no, from that Wednesday to when I dropped him off, there's no way.
You go to church, then you know forgiveness and everything about that, don't you? Now's the time to be begging forgiveness.
Who killed Reverend Dobson? Why would they want him gone? And can the detectives truly trust anyone? The Bible Belt, a region in the southern U.S. where the Lord's Word is paramount, and Sunday is the single most important day of the week. Right at the heart of the belt lies the city of Arlington, Texas, a small yet bustling city with over 200 churches within its borders. But a favorite among many North Arlington residents was the esteemed North Point Baptist Church. North Point was a well-attended and much-loved community church where every member of its clerical staff exuded safety, love, and acceptance. But none did so quite as genuinely and wholeheartedly as the beloved young leader of the church, a Reverend by the name of Clint Dobson. 28-year-old Clint knew from the early age of 8 that his calling was to serve God and his community. He carried this mission with him through life, eventually leading him to pursue his postgraduate degree in religious studies from Baylor University. A professor of Christian ministries at Baylor described him as quick to smile, embrace a friend, and engage in conversation that could be lighthearted and full of laughter, or that could rapidly move into the depths of theological thought. He'd earned himself the Student Preacher of the Year award in 2008, the same year he graduated, and even his college roommate recognized early on that Clint had that rare combination of a love for truth and a love for people. After receiving his Master's of Divinity degree, his unique charisma and abundance of theological knowledge led to him being appointed as the leader of North Point Baptist Church in just his mid-20s. He effortlessly assimilated into this role and preached the scripture passionately with an emphasis on the importance of helping others as often as possible. But he didn't just talk about it. He was a man of action who was often found helping out in community rebuilding efforts, providing religious counsel at pregnancy centers and homeless shelters, and donating time, energy, and money to anyone who needed it. He'd even undergone training to become a member of the Arlington Clergy and Police Partnership, where he would be called upon by the police department to pray over department members, respond to crisis situations, and make his services available to the sick and wounded. His wisdom, determination to lead by example, and ability to make anyone laugh would lighten any situation and naturally encourage others to stay on the right path. Parishioners would often stop by throughout the week to visit the confessional booth and unburden themselves to the trusted pastor, who would patiently listen, pray over them for forgiveness, and send them on their way, feeling lighter and hopeful for the future. But on the afternoon of March 3rd, 2011, someone would wander into the confessional booth who wasn't supposed to be there, a shameless force of darkness that not even Reverend Dobson's light could penetrate. Around 11:30 a.m., a tall, dark figure crept through the doors of the otherwise empty nave and stalked directly towards the confessional. He stepped inside, trying his best to appear unassuming, and Reverend Dobson soon entered the booth as well and took his seat positioned eye to eye with the man in front of him. Sensing his apprehension, the Reverend offered a warm, encouraging smile and invited the stranger to speak. But the stranger had no words for him. He'd already decided his fate and was about to commit his greatest sin yet. Around 3:45 p.m., John Elliott, the husband of Reverend Dobson's assistant Judy, received a message explaining that the Reverend's wife, Laura, was trying to get in touch with him. She'd tried calling his cell phone and the church phone, but Clint wasn't answering either one. John's wife, 69-year-old Judy, was supposed to be with Clint at the church, so he gave her a call to ask her to check on Reverend Dobson, but she didn't answer either. He tried a few more times but was met with only her voicemail, and he immediately knew something was wrong. He got right into his car and drove to the nearby church, and upon arrival he noticed that his wife's white Mitsubishi Galant was missing from the parking lot. Instead of going in through the main doors, he entered the building through a side door and began calling out for Clint and Judy, but there was no response. He went to the usually locked office area where his wife worked, but this time the door was unlocked, so he cautiously swung it open, and he couldn't believe his eyes. The office was a mess with papers, stationery, and furniture strewn on the floor. As he stood in the doorway in shock, he was startled by an eerie noise, the pleading voice of a woman crying, "I don't know who is there, please help me." That's when he noticed a lady that he didn't recognize lying on the floor behind a desk, her hands tied behind her back with a black computer cord. There was a clear plastic trash bag around her head, but the blood on her clothes and inside the bag indicated that she was bleeding profusely. Horrified, John ran back outside and immediately called the police. Officer Parrish arrived on scene first, and John rushed her inside the building to show her the woman he found, and it wasn't until he saw the woman again that he had a horrifying realization. Oh my God, that's my wife. She'd apparently been beaten so badly that her face was beyond recognition, but John recognized the outfit she was wearing as one that belonged to Judy. Officer Parrish radioed for EMS to respond to the scene, but something else suddenly caught her attention. There was another person lying face up in the far corner of the office, a man whose hands were also bound behind his back with a black extension cord. There were remnants of tape around his legs, and a plastic trash bag was covered his head with the opening tied tightly around his neck. But unlike Judy, he wasn't moving or making any sounds. John turned his attention to where Officer Parrish was looking, but this time he immediately knew who the victim was. That's the pastor. At this point, both the officer and a distraught John returned back outside to find EMS and more officers pulling up to the scene. John boarded the ambulance with his wife and they were driven to the hospital, where her injuries were later described as a severe beating with multiple broken bones in the face and a stunned heart. Reverend Dobson, on the other hand, was pronounced dead at the scene. He'd also been severely beaten with a blunt object and strangled, but he ultimately died of suffocation. A bolo alert was issued for Judy's white Mitsubishi, and detectives got to work examining the scene for clues. Doors to several of the offices, including Judy's office, looked like they'd been forced in. Inside the men's bathroom, spots of blood were observed on a paper towel on the floor near the trash can, on the sink counter, and on the cold knob of one of the sinks. Blood was also found on several doorknobs, door frames, and walls. A black plastic object was found on the floor of Reverend Dobson's office that appeared to be the grip of a handgun. But most importantly, Clint's wallet, cell phone, and laptop, as well as Judy's purse, were missing from the scene, which pointed to the possibility of a robbery gone wrong. Detectives finally wrapped up their investigation of the scene around 3 o'clock the next morning. They didn't locate anything at the scene that would help them immediately identify the killer, but they would get their first lucky break around 11:30 a.m. when they received a call from two women who claimed to know exactly who killed Clint Dobson. The women identified themselves as Morgan Cotter and Allison Cobb and stated that they'd visited a Quick Trip gas station around 9:30 the night before to grab some drinks. As they got out of their car, they were allegedly approached by a man they described as short, light-skinned, athletically built, and heavily tattooed, most notably dollar signs that were tattooed on both eyelids. He wore a green Cookie Monster shirt and jeans and donned a significant amount of jewelry, including a thick diamond bracelet. As the story goes, the man quickly approached them from the nearby payphone and asked for a ride to Dallas. They refused, but he was insistent. At one point, he allegedly produced a black iPhone from his pocket, explaining that it belonged to a dead pastor and that he needed to skip town. They didn't believe him, but they still declined to give him a ride, at which point he gave up and took off running west across Collins Street. The two then went into the store, made their purchases, and left. After receiving this tip, Detective Blank immediately made his way to the reported Quick Trip to attempt to identify the assailant via surveillance footage. Meanwhile, back at the crime lab, Detective Shinpaw had gotten a hold of Judy's financial statements and was scanning them meticulously. The statements showed that Judy's credit card had been used at multiple jewelry kiosks and a shoe store inside Parks Mall. All purchases had been made shortly before, and in hours after, the 911 call was made. Back over at the Quick Trip, Detective Blank was reviewing the surveillance footage with the store manager. The store had a camera that pointed directly at the area of the payphones and the surrounding parking lot. The officer saw the women arrive and park at the gas station as they'd said, but at no point did they stop to talk to a man. In fact, there was no man matching the given description anywhere near the payphone that night. They'd fabricated the entire encounter. Hours later, both Morgan and Allison were brought into the police station to explain exactly why they were trying to tamper with the officer's investigation. Upon being confronted with the truth, they immediately cracked and admitted that they'd lied, but proceeded to give officers the true version of the story, that the man in the Cookie Monster shirt was actually an acquaintance of theirs, 24-year-old Stephen Lewayne Nelson, who they did actually suspect was behind the pastor's murder based on what he and a friend of his, 18-year-old Anthony A.G. Springs, had said when they all met up at a mutual friend's apartment late last night.
But we were all at another apartment at a little get-together together like 3 days ago, and they were there, and they ended up leaving, and we were all standing outside on the balcony, and that was the car that I saw pick them up to come and get them.
And whose car is that?
I guess it's the girl Dex's,
Okay,
right?
okay.
But anyways, last night they had come in, sat down on the couch. We were actually
What
watching.
were they wearing?
Okay. He was wearing the green Cookie Monster outfit with the jewelry, the bandana, everything to the T.
Does he normally have that jewelry, or?
I've never seen him with jewelry before, honestly. But like I said, I just recently got back in contact with him. He's not a person I just go and hang out with.
Okay. What was it?
AG was wearing a white wife beater with jeans and basketball shorts under it and some type of tennis shoes. They came in, we were watching it on the news. The conversation started, I was like, what are you guys doing later? They didn't come in, they didn't say anything, they didn't seem, like they were, I'm gonna tell you, they were on an ecstasy pill. They were on a few of them, they were rolling on Exos because they were moving their mouths, they were all moving funny, they were smoking blacks, rocking back. I asked them, are you on crack? No, we took ecstasy pills. You want one? No, I'm pregnant, I'm good, I want nothing from you. Anthony was sitting across from me, and I was like, so what are you gonna do later? He was like, right now I'm trying to get up off this iPhone that I have. And I was like, how'd you get an iPhone? I was like, let me see it. He pulled out his pocket, showed it to us, the plain black iPhone, no case on it, nothing on it. I was like, where'd you get that from? He was like, it's that pastor's phone, the one that got killed. And I was like, that's really not cool that you say about it. The whole time, it was actually on the news. There was a Hispanic lady, a news lady on the news last night. She was talking about it. They were sitting there laughing about it. The girl, Dex, kind of sat back. She didn't really say anything. She was like, she kind of bit her finger. She didn't really say anything. The only thing she answered to me was when we asked her what her name was. And then when I said, are you in the Navy? She didn't say another word all night. Allison stood up and was going to walk. The apartment is so little. You can walk in and you're automatically in the kitchen. It's just little. Allison had got up and was real upset by him saying that. I stood up. I was going to walk outside. The next thing I know, they all three get up real quick and they're like, okay, we're leaving. We'll see y'all later. They walked out the door. After that, Steven called my phone maybe 4 times.
What time was he calling?
2 o'clock in the morning. That's the time I have the missed call from. It was 2. The last call was at 2:38, and I was asleep, so I didn't answer. And
Do you leave text or voicemails or anything?
No, he didn't leave voicemails, but I had texted him, and I was like, "What do you want?" And he was like, "What did he say? I'm trying to get this correct." He was like, "I was like, where are you going?" He was like, "I'm going home." And I was like, Why didn't you stay at Sundun's house?" Which is the apartment, that guy whose apartment it is. He was like, because AG told me I should just go home. And that girl, Dex, dropped AG off. And then this was at 4 in the morning. When I looked at my phone was when I had the missed calls, and that's when I called him back. He was like, I'm going to go home, whatever. And I was like, all right, bye. That was it. I hung up. AG was there. He came in. He kept texting on his phone. He was like, I need to go. He called his mom at 4, almost 5 o'clock. And was like, Mom, can you unlock the door? I'm coming home. She was like, I didn't hear what she said, but I put in my head, she was like, what's wrong? He was like, just a lot of stuff. I got stuff on my mind. And 5 minutes later, he got up. He left, didn't say nothing to me. He came in, got a cigarette from me, and then was gone. I didn't say anything to him. You came over here, put me in danger. I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to talk to you. And that's pretty much it. I haven't heard. AG called me whenever I showed you the time on my phone, called me and was like, what are you doing? And I was like, about to go home. And he was like, okay, I gotta call you back, bye. And hung up in my face. Last time I've heard from them.
And that was at what time?
Right there. AG, the last incoming call was at 1:27 for 12 seconds.
At 1:27 p.m.?
Yes. On 3/4/2011. Yeah, because then the last time I had talked to him on the phone, period, was at 9:19 p.m. for 18 seconds was the last time I called him, and it went to his voicemail. He forwarded my call because it only rang 18 seconds.
Didn't you say there was some conversation about him, one of the two saying that he didn't rob him?
Yes.
What was
yes.
that about?
There was whenever we had talked to them, we had said, I'm trying to think which one it was because I don't want to lie. It was Steven. I had asked him, I was like, I told Allison it was in a text message because I didn't want, to freak her out. I was like, I'd send him a text message. I didn't send a text message. I'd asked him, I was like, what did I say? I said, did you kill the pastor? And he goes, I didn't rob him. I didn't ask you if you robbed him. I asked you if you killed him. I'm not going to lie. That's what I said. As frank as it is, I want to know. Because if you're around me, I want to know what you did. You're not going to get me in that.
Sure.
I said, did you kill him? And he said, I didn't rob him. And he was on like an exo, you know, not making sense. But he didn't, I had told Allison that it was in a text message, but it wasn't. I asked him.
Well, what is he meaning by that, though? I mean, because that doesn't really...
It doesn't make sense because I
doesn't
said, did you
answer the
kill
question.
him?
Yeah.
I don't know. And he was like, I didn't rob him. Okay, so does that mean you didn't rob him? Somebody else? I didn't know if he meant the AG robbed him and he killed him, or, you know, that's what I said. And then, like I was saying, you know, earlier, I could be completely wrong about. They could just be on exos, messed up, and he thought that was going to be a funny joke that nobody thought was funny, and they could be innocent. They could not have done anything.
Sure.
But I'm not going to chance that because that's not something you joke about. Because I don't find that funny. I've been worried about this since you told me this. You know. I lied. I admit that. Yes, I did. And as soon as we did it, I was like, whenever my dad brings us this car, my dad was going to take us to the house and let us use the car. I was like, we need to go up there and call him and be like, we need to tell you that we know them. That's why it's a good thing. I mean, you saw how easy it was you asked me, looked at me one time. Did you? Yeah, okay, I did. Because this needs to be known. This is serious. Because if they did, as serious as this is, people need to know.
Have you seen? I know you said that he was looking for a gun and he said, "Well, I got one."
Yeah.
What type of gun have you seen him around? Or
They got a shotgun, a big long shotgun, huge, like huge. They were like, "Oh well, we have this and we have that," and they linked up because AG sells exos. That's like what he does. You know, he'll sell weed and exos, and he had gone to buy some from him, and the conversation came up, "Hey, I need a gun." AG, oh okay, I can get you one. They had talked about having a shotgun. They have, you know, all kinds of stuff. The gun that I saw him with last night, whenever he stood up and he pulled up his pants, he had taken it out of his pocket. It was a silver and black gun. I was sitting right there by him, and he put it into his back, like the back pocket.
What part was silver? What part was black? And you saw that on him at what time?
It was about between 11:30 and 12. It was probably closer to midnight.
So when he
to
was
be
over
honest.
there.
Right.
Okay.
And Morgan, real quick, what day were they wanting you to take him? What day were they wanting you to drive him to go do a lick?
It was about Tuesday. Yeah, it's been 3 days about that.
What lick were they trying to get you to go do?
They didn't say. I have no details. They just keep that. That's what he says. I've been scoping it out, and I remember hearing AG because he was on the other room. Oh, okay, so you scoped it out because I hate hitting licks that are going to go bad. Yeah, I don't like licks that I'm going to have to worry about and watch my back for.
Did they give you any idea what they were scoping out? What
They
they were going
said
to get?
people's houses. Like that's what they like. Allison, she was the one that May was sitting there in the conversation. When I was on the phone, I'm always talking or something. But that's what I've heard them say. Well, and then the other day, like I told you, he did say, he called me and was like, "Do you know where AG is?" And I was like, "No, why?" And this one, I didn't really know anything that they were doing. He was like, "Oh, because I have this lick that we have to hit, but we have to hit it by 7 because they're going to be leaving." I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know where he is by. In the conversation. I mean, you're not
But he
hitting
didn't
him.
say where
He didn't
it
say
was
anything.
or anything like that. He just said they're going to be leaving by 7.
Yeah, and then the thing is like they haven't, when they've been around, like, they've never said that they've done. I remember them talking about, whenever they were talking about going to do that lick on Tuesday night or whatever it was, Sundun had been like, "Did y'all get anything?" They were like, "We didn't do nothing." They were like, "We couldn't do anything." I remember him saying about, all we got was a roll of quarters from a female at a gas station and she gave it to us. I was like, oh, okay. They said, that's epic fail. Like, they haven't said that they've done anything, and if they have done something, they haven't let it be known by anybody. That's why I was so worried this morning that I was like, if they find out that somebody snitched, they're going to know it's us. They don't just go around talking about this to people. And first of all, I don't know why you would trust me, because like I told you, I'll be the first one to tell anybody, I'm a big snitch. You do something, I'm going to tell on you. Because you're not going to be like, oh, well, she knew about it and she told you. That's what she did. And this is not right to me. So.
Well, you're right on that.
And then, I just found out in the car, she's pregnant. I'm pregnant. She may be pregnant. I'm pregnant. I know what that's like. It makes me, I was just crying just now. Whenever we come back there, I sat there and I was like, this makes you think about all those times I go out on Friday and Saturday nights and leave my dad at home. Like, it makes you want to be with your family real bad. And to know that people out there can sit at the TV whenever stuff like that is going on and laugh about that, that's not right. And you need to be, that's just not cool to me. I just don't find humor in that at all.
What were they saying about it?
They were just laughing. They were like, "Oh, that's not my dad." And I was like, "Guys, what if that was your..." This was before they had said anything about the phone. I was like, "What if that was your dad, you know?" "Well, it's not my dad, so I don't give a damn." "Okay, well, what if it, you know, what if you would have had a family member?" "Again, I didn't have a family member there, so I don't give a damn." That's not cool. That's a man of the Lord. And if, you know, your beliefs can be whatever you are, that's a human being. It's not your time to say when it's the time for somebody else to go. He was like 29 years old. You know, how is it to say that it's your time to end somebody's life? That's not fair. That's just not right to me. I don't understand how you can sit there and laugh about something like that. That's not cool.
Why do you think that they would have killed him? Any idea?
If something went wrong, if they were trying to, their motive isn't, I don't believe is to go and kill people. I think it's to get money so they can, you know, whatever, come up, do whatever. AG's the most money hungry person you'll ever meet. I could call him on the iPhone right now and be like, "I'll give you $20. AG's so money hungry, he will do it, you know? And believe it or not, I have ringtones on him. AG sits and sings love songs, like, has been on, like, the radio. It's like, he's actually really known as a singer. You know, on 105.7, he's known. Sits and sings mushy songs. He's not that type of person. He's not a gangster. And, you know, just like Sundon was telling us, Sundon didn't hear anything. He was in the room. He didn't hear nothing. And I was telling him, I was like, you know, this is bugging me. Sundon was like, "Well, I can tell you something." He was like, "That's how you know he's not a real gangster, because if he was a whatever he's trying to be, he wouldn't go around telling people, 'This is what I did.' That's running your mouth too much." That's why Steven was like, "Oh, we're leaving," because he may be, but I've known AG for so long. AG doesn't do things like that. He has a little girl. He would be like whenever they were going to hit the lick, he was the one. "Oh, well, we can do this." I don't know what they were talking about. It was a two-way conversation. It wasn't on speaker. I wish I would have, so I could tell you if it would, you know, to help y'all with something else. I wish. But he was the one that was telling AG, you know, "We can do this. I got it." "Oh, you got it set up because I just don't want it to come back on me, you know. Whenever you drive around with 50 exos in your pocket, you know, you're going to jail regardless. Imagine if, you know, you have this on top of it, you know." And he's the complete opposite because, you know, he doesn't have money. That's what I feel. Me and Alfred were talking about that. I think that he called him and was like, we can go rob a church. I honestly think that. AG was like, "Okay, is it guaranteed?" "Oh yeah, they're not going to be there. You know, there's only one person there, you know, whatever they have going on." You know, it's just, and AG's just money hungry. And, "Okay, I'll go with you." And then look what happened. I don't think that it was AG that, you know, however the man was killed. I don't believe that AG did it. I believe that Steven did, but I believe that AG had a big part of it. I mean, obviously, you have the phone.
The detectives then instructed Morgan to hold tight while they went down the hall to corroborate her news story with Allison.
So, kind of walk me through the conversations and all that.
Well, me and Morgan were already outside when they pulled up, so, you know, they got out of the car and we said hey to him or whatever. And, I mean, AG said hi, but they all kind of said hi, but just kind of walked past us to the door. So they went up there, and then we were kind of like, I guess we'll go inside. So we go inside, and, like, it was really awkward because it was just really quiet when I came in, and then me and Morgan started talking, and somebody jumped in our conversation, and then we all kind of started talking. And then everybody kind of just, like, makes fun of each other a lot and just jokes around, and we were joking around, and I saw that he had an iPhone. AG had an iPhone. And I was like, "Why do you have an iPhone? You have Metro PCS." And then he was like, "It's the pastor's phone." And as soon as he said that, like, it just, like, because we all just watched the whole story on the news. And, like...
How were they reacting to that?
They laughed at it.
Did you find that odd? I mean, was that...
I said something about it.
Or?
I mean, it's normal for them to laugh at stuff that's not funny, but about a pastor dying, I mean, that's not normal. So, we said something about it, we were like, "You know, what if that was your dad?" And then they were like, "Well, it's not my family." And then, when he had the iPhone, it was like a little bit later on, he had the iPhone out, and I was like, "Why do you have that?" And he said, "It's the pastor's phone." And I just, like, looked down. I didn't look at him after that, and I just kind of had my head in my hands. And then
did anyone say anything to him about it, or
like Jordan was sitting right here next to me, and Romeo was next to Morgan on that couch, and Jordan was like, "I need to go get a black." And I was like, I offered her a cigarette, and then she was like, I don't smoke cigarettes, just blacks. So her and Romeo got up and walked out to go get a black, and then, like, I was still, like, wouldn't look at AG, and Sonny was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, nothing. And then, like, I just looked at Morgan and, like, we just both kind of looked at each other. And then Sonny was like, don't say shit like that. And AG was like, oh, I'm just kidding. And then he got up and left. And then, like, after he left, like, I was crying and everything. And, like, him and Sonny talked for a little bit outside. Mm-hmm. And when he came back in, I was crying and everything. And he was trying to ask me what was wrong. And I was like, you just had, like, somebody that killed the pastor in your house. And he was like, I know, AG didn't kill him. And I was like, how do you know? And he was like, AG didn't kill that man. And I was like, but how do you know? And he just kept telling me that that if AG was to tell him something, that he wouldn't listen. He would just say, I don't want to hear about it, because he doesn't want to be a witness to anything. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, I know for a fact AG didn't kill that man. And then, but when Romeo was asked if he killed him, he just said, I didn't rob him.
And who asked him that?
Morgan.
Or asked him? Okay.
Because, everybody in the room kind of knew, but, like, nobody wanted to talk about it, basically. Because nobody wanted...
Obviously, from your reaction to him saying it's the pastor's phone, the way he said it was serious.
Yeah, this is the pastor's phone, and...
he's not saying it like he's joking.
No, he's not joking, saying, he's saying this is the pastor's phone. Okay. And then, like... I guess he didn't realize, because, I know when they go out together that they take a whole lot of ecstasy and then they take bars on top of it, mm-hmm. so that they'll be, like, serious, but they'll still be hyped up. And I know that they had plans to go do a couple of things, like 3 days ago. And they didn't end up doing it because they couldn't, I guess something went wrong. And they didn't do it, and then...
Do you know what they were supposed to do?
There was, like, a couple of houses that, like, Romeo had scoped out, and he wanted to make a move on them that day. Mm-hmm. And he called Morgan to see, we were already with AG and Sonny at Sonny's house, and he called to see if we had a gun that he could buy. And everybody was just kind of like, no. And then AG was like, well, I can find you a gun. So that's kind of how they started talking, because they were talking through Morgan for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And AG would call and be like, what about this one? What about this one? There's like a pink gun. And he was like, Romeo was like, I can't do it with a pink gun. So then AG was like, well, what are you trying to do? And he was like, well, I got a couple places scoped out. And that's when they started talking, and that's when they were like, let's partner up and I can help you and da-da-da-da. But we wouldn't drive them, so then they ended up going with the girl Jordan.
On that day?
Mm-hmm. But they didn't do anything that night. They ended up picking up, like, the other friends and doing stupid shit, but they didn't really do.
And did they ever talk about this church before this happened?
They'd never talked about the church. They just talked about houses that they were going to do. Well, I guess they never specified houses, but I assumed it was a house because they said, we're going to go knock on the door. Somebody's going to answer the door, we're going to tell them to put their hands up, and then we're going to go in, and they're going to be on the floor. And they were going to take, like, credit cards and stuff like that.
Is that kind of like what they normally do, is steal credit cards?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, AG's a follower to Romeo. He never really did anything like that, but I know Romeo did because he had, like, a stack of them.
And when did you see the stack?
Like, the 3 days before when we had picked him up.
Okay. But has he said anything about, either one of them said anything about being worried about being seen on video using the cards or being traced?
Well, I asked him how he got the money out,
uh-huh.
and he didn't really tell me that part. So I was like, you have a stack of credit cards, they're going to trace them. Like, right. They turn their credit cards off, that's stupid. And then he was like, no, you get the PIN numbers. And I was like, oh. But he never really said how he gets the actual cash from it.
Okay. Did he say that anything like that last night?
When I saw Romeo last night, it was real brief, and he wasn't himself. Like, that's how I knew that he
was on the edge and something wasn't right.
I knew that they were all on pills, but he was just really like you couldn't joke with Romeo last night. He was very serious about everything. Like, if I made a joke towards him, like I made the Metro PCS joke to AG, and he was just like, it's pastor's phone. Like, straight out said it. And then they left, and that was kind of like, why did they get up and go like that? And I don't know, I just pretty positive that they didn't.
Is there anything else that you can think of that I need to know about? Is there anything else that you feel is important?
Nothing else besides Romeo has family in Oklahoma and he'll be quick to leave without a problem.
What part of Oklahoma?
Enid.
Enid?
Following questioning, Allison and Morgan were allowed to go home, but before they left, they gave the detectives permission to access their Facebook pages where they were able to locate profiles and pictures of Stephen and Anthony. With these pictures, detectives made their way to Parks Mall and surrounding businesses to see if they could catch the alleged assailants on surveillance using the stolen cards. And sure enough, detectives witnessed a man who appeared to be Stephen visiting all of the stores and jewelry kiosks that appeared on Judy's bank statement. While at the mall, he'd purchased a white pair of shoes, a green Oscar the Grouch t-shirt, and several pieces of flashy jewelry before the card finally declined. Stephen was by himself in some of the footage, and in other parts of the footage he was accompanied by a man who appeared to be Anthony. However, Stephen seemed to be the only one using the card to make purchases. At that point, the only other thing to do was to see if they had enough evidence to secure arrest warrants for both men. But as it turned out, they wouldn't have to. The department received a call from the North Heat Unit around 11:50 p.m., advising that they'd taken Anthony into custody on a few pre-existing misdemeanor warrants, and on his person, they found 2 phones and a set of Mitsubishi car keys. Not wasting any time, the detectives immediately made their way to the Arlington jail to get some answers from Anthony, but he wouldn't make it easy for them.
Alrighty. Appreciate your time to talk to us for a minute. Well, Mr. Springs, I'd like to talk to you for a second. Is there anything you can think of why a couple of detectives would want to talk to you about? Has anything been recently going on in your life that a couple of detectives would want to speak with you?
The only thing, I thought this was about the drugs, but right now I really can't think of nothing like.
What do you mean drugs?
Like, no, because last time, remember that I told you, he had said that, I guess he was part of the drug unit. He said he was sending detectives in to talk to me, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I thought this was, but I wasn't sure, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Okay. So maybe you thought narcotics was...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't work narcotics.
Okay.
Is there anything else maybe that you've been around? Have you had any friends that have been in trouble here recently or done anything silly or anything?
Yeah.
Who?
But he told me he did something real bad. I don't know. I ain't get no details on that. His name Romeo.
Well, who's Romeo?
That's whose keys that is. His car.
Romeo?
Yeah, Romeo.
Is that his guy?
Well, that. I just met him. Like I said, I just met him. That's whose keys those are, and that's why I was telling him which number it was. That 214 number out of my number.
Well, let's back up.
Okay.
So Romeo?
Yeah.
You know if that's his real name or?
Like I said, I just met him.
How long have you known him?
Probably like 3-4 days to keep it real. Yeah. I met him through my friend Morgan.
So you said your friend Romeo may have done something stupid here recently or something bad?
Okay, I left to my baby mother's house.
Okay, when?
The day before yesterday. And what happened was...
Would that be Wednesday,
Yeah,
Thursday, Tuesday?
Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. I'm trying to remember.
Sure.
Came home. Okay, it was yesterday. Like in the morning, like kind of like
Thursday morning or Friday morning?
Yeah, it happened yesterday. I'm tripping. It happened yesterday that we was at his auntie house.
Okay.
At my friend's auntie house.
At Romeo's or another?
Yeah, Romeo. Romeo had drove over there. He had followed us and stuff.
Well, what type of car does Romeo?
He had a white Galant.
White Galant. And Romeo, what time are we talking? You said morning,
It's
right?
just like morning time, like
what's morning time? Like before noon?
like 3, 2, 1 type.
Like
early in the morning?
Yeah.
It's when he told me something, because he had popped that X pill,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just like, man, like I was like, what's wrong, but he's like, I did something really bad, and I was like, I mean, what you want to talk about it? He's like, no. I was like, alright. I was like, well, shit, you want me good? You know what I'm saying? I like, shit, well, I'm about to go to my baby mama house, but I never did go. I never did. I went over to back to where I stay, and then I ended up going back to my mama's house. We said, why, what today? So this just happened.
To your friend Claude's house at about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, or 2 or 3 in the morning.
No, I had met up with him that during that day. No. What?
Well, let's try and get a timeline.
Yeah, cause I'm confused on days. Like I lose my cause you know
I'm lost here too.
Okay,
right now, we've just flipped over because it's just past midnight. Okay.
Okay.
So technically, we're Saturday now.
Okay, we're Saturday, Friday.
So yesterday,
Friday. Okay, so Friday morning, like a 1, 2, 3 type.
Okay,
yeah.
so it'd be Thursday night going into Friday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
so
I get lost with my days. Yeah.
It should be like 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, I wasn't like it said exactly what time I left, but I was supposed to go to my baby mother's, but I didn't. I went to my baby mother's the day before that. Thursday, what did I do? Thursday. End of writing. Let me see. Did I do Thursday? Oh, I think I had to Xanax boys. That's why I can't remember. Let me think.
Take your time.
Yeah. Let me think. Cause
Take a second. When you say take Xanax, are they prescribed to you?
No, they're not prescribed.
Okay.
Was it the day that we took it? Okay. Thursday. That whole day. We went. No. I'm switching up. What did I do Thursday? I didn't.
Did you go out to lunch? Did you hang out with?
Nah,
Did you?
Oh, that's what I did. I slept. Like I slept all day. That's what I did. I'm tripping, cause I had when did I catch it? I just recently got back from like with a urinary infection. So like, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of like hurting today. So that, and then plus I had the tooth from my carabin. So that's what I did.
So after you.
That's what happened. That's what happened. Wednesday and a Thursday. Okay, was it Friday? Yesterday was Friday.
Anthony, is there something we need to know about?
No, because I'm really trying to think about this. I already know what you thinking.
I'm just curious, brother. I mean, it's only a day away. I mean,
I mean, we're not asking you about 2 months ago.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
what day did you see him with the white car, with the Gallant?
That day that my baby mother had dropped me off.
that was Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, on the 2nd, early, like at 2. I said, like it was like 1:40 or so, and that's when I had.
And that was the first time you ever saw him in that car.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let me see.
Did you see him in the car on Thursday?
Okay, see, this is where I'm tripping. Okay, all this happened Thursday. The following. All this happened Thursday, like from us just like meeting up back together.
Okay, so you're saying that everything you told us that happened Wednesday should be on Thursday?
No. I end up going. What the f did I do Thursday? Like unnecessary. Wednesday. Chill with my baby mama. That we left out. We met back up with him at the mall. Okay. Met back up here.
You met with him at the mall?
Okay, yeah. We met back up here at the mall.
And what day was that?
And that was Wednesday.
So you met him at the mall on Wednesday?
Yeah. What's when we linked back up with him? Like I had linked back up with him.
Right. On Wednesday at the mall?
Yeah. That night. Like 6 or 7 type. And we linked up. And Thursday, I chilled Thursday. Yeah, I chilled Thursday
Where at?
at my grandma's.
There on Davis?
Yeah. What was the day that I fell asleep? Because it had to be the second day. Yeah, it was on Davis.
Okay. So, just for the sake of argument, for the moment,
Okay.
we'll say that you fell asleep all day on Thursday at Davis. What do you do Thursday night going into Friday? We'll bypass Thursday for a second. We'll bypass it. So Thursday night into Friday, what do you do?
Thursday night going into Friday.
Yeah, this
That's-
morning. What did you do this morning?
That's when he told me like that he had done something, but he didn't elaborate on it.
So like right in like this time frame here, like
Yeah. Like.
And where did that happen at?
At Twisted Auntie house. See,
Where
I got my days mixed up.
Sure. Where does she live at?
Off of Trinity and 360. Okay, see, I think I got my days mixed up, man. This is what I get for not having no job or anything. I don't even keep track of the days.
Okay.
But I know that I met up with Romeo.
Okay, well, you said you went to the mall.
Yeah.
Did you go to the mall the same day as your? You said the mother of your baby's birthday is the second.
Yeah. That's the Wednesday. That's the Wednesday.
Mall
Wednesday.
the same day.
Wednesday. Yeah. Wednesday. Yeah,
Did you go to the mall the same day as their birthday, as her birthday, or did you go to the mall a different day?
We went to the mall. Yeah. Okay. That's what happened. Okay. I know what you're saying now. Okay, yeah, that's what happened. Okay, yeah, we went to the mall. We met him up there. But after that, that's when we dispersed, and I told you I took his.
And that was on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. And then that's what I did until.
Did you go to the mall on Thursday?
Yeah, we went back up there with him.
Okay. What time did you go back to the mall on Thursday?
Probably like it was about to close 8:30.
Okay, so it was after dinner time or
Yeah. Now I got my days right, because that's when I told you I took the Xanax bar. Okay, I took the Xanax bar, and that's when I had stayed at the crib at my G lady house.
So you said that. So you how'd you get to the mall on Thursday?
To his aunt.
Okay, so she drove you?
Yeah. We drove Twisted truck when I met up with him.
Anthony attributes his poor memory to having taken Xanax on the day of the murder, contrary to Morgan's claim that he'd taken ecstasy. While both ecstasy and Xanax have the potential to cause memory loss, Xanax, specifically, is a benzodiazepine that directly impacts areas of the brain to produce its calming effect. Even short-term Xanax use can cause anterograde amnesia, or difficulty forming new memories while under the drug's influence. But the cops are asking about events that happened before he supposedly took the Xanax, meaning he's likely using his drug use as a cover-up, an excuse to avoid admitting what happened on the day of the murder.
Okay. So on Thursday at about dinner time, 5 to 8 o'clock, y'all catch back up with each other. Jordan drives you, Romeo, and herself back to and by the mall, I'm assuming Parks Mall?
Yes.
Okay.
No, she drives. Romeo's following us.
Okay, so he's following y'all in the Gallant?
In the he's following us he's in the Gallant, we're in the Malibu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on Thursday, you and Jordan are in one car, and he's in another, and y'all meet back up at the mall.
Yeah, and that's when he was with us. That's when he achieved us to that night.
Where do y'all park at the mall?
What do we park at?
You know where Cooper Street is? Do you know what big store did you walk into?
We parked by J.C. Penney's. Right there next to the parking garage.
Okay, so in the upper level, like parking garage, J.C. Penney.
The movie's over here,
and
then I think it's J.C. Penney. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, J.C. Penney.
So y'all walk through J.C. Penney.
Yeah.
Where do y'all go?
We went into Finish Line.
Did y'all buy anything?
We didn't buy anything.
Okay.
We went into Finish Line. finish line, and that's about it. We really didn't go to a lot of places.
So you went to finish line, didn't buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go after finish line? Do y'all look at anywhere else?
A jewelry store.
Ooh, what jewelry store?
I don't know, like one of those like little stands in the middle.
Oh, okay. One, two,
Just one.
one jewelry. Do you remember what store it's near, or?
All I know is he said he was gonna get some. I don't know if Clyde was gonna get some, but we just met up there.
As far as you know, that's his car.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like I said, I don't know him from this and that. Like,
That's interesting. Because I know where that car was on Wednesday, and I don't think he had possession of it on Wednesday. So are you sure you got your days right? I want you to look, Anthony.
let me think.
Anthony, let me talk to you straight. All right.
All right.
I want you to.
Well, can you tell?
Yeah. Let me give you a little spiel.
All right.
Okay. This is just kind of me to you.
Okay.
Right now, you really need to start thinking about how you want to live your life. Okay. Because Anthony, I'm about to start asking you a little bit harder questions.
Okay. Like I said.
Hold on. Because I've been asking you some questions that I know answers to, and I've been asking some questions I don't know answers to. Because I'm trying to judge.
Yeah, like whether I already know, like.
Okay. Well, some of the answers you're giving me don't match up.
Is it because my days?
Hold on now.
Yeah.
Anthony, you're not an idiot. You seem
Yeah,
like the smart kid that I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to not remember certain, like within a week, I mean, I could understand if I was asking you what did you do on October 26th.
Yeah.
But when I ask you what did you do this morning, and you're having to think about it, and you seem very nervous.
Yeah.
You're setting off little bells and whistles in my tiny cop head.
Yeah.
Okay? So hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Settle, please. So I really want you to think hard, think correctly, because some of the stuff that you're telling me and some of the decisions you're making by telling me those things are really going to affect your life. Okay? So let's start talking and maybe being a little bit more realistic on timelines and stuff like that, okay? I know 100%, without a doubt, you probably were not in a white gallant on Wednesday with Romeo. Okay?
Wednesday.
And I know.
Well, can I ask you this question? Like, what exactly has happened?
Well,
I don't.
Well, Anthony, I'm afraid you're getting yourself caught up in a tangle of lies.
I really don't.
Hold on, Anthony.
All right.
Look, obviously, anytime we talk to people, there's always a purpose and a meaning.
Okay.
Okay. We don't just take random shots in dark. Okay. It seems like you're getting caught up into a bunch of stuff that you probably don't really want to get caught up into. But I think you're trying to play dumb, which doesn't really work for you.
No, I mean, like I said, like when you told me, you know what I'm saying, when you told me off top, like, has anybody said something? Like,
right.
Yeah,
and again, that, that's how I always start my interviews, because I always, you never know what people might say. But the fact of the matter is, Anthony, is that I don't think you're being 100% truthful with me. And I think that you're leaving off a lot of things here. Okay? You seem to be hell-bent on staying away from Thursday. You've said other little things throughout our conversation that is just, it's not jiving, brother. And I want you to think
Thursday.
Hold on a second. Look, I want you to know something, okay?
Okay.
I don't want you to do time for somebody else, and I don't want other people to do time for you and all that mess, okay?
Okay.
So, can we cut the bullshit? And if you know something more than what you're letting on, can we be real with one another and we talk straight for a while? Because I think you're just trying to duck and dodge and dive around a whole bunch of issues.
I mean,
And I've been very patient with you. I haven't yelled at you. I haven't cussed at you. I haven't slammed the desk. You know, my partner's been very patient with you.
Yeah.
We've been trying our damnedest to keep our cool, keep calm, and try and keep things straight. But the fact of the matter is I don't think that you're trying to help us. I don't think that you're trying to help yourself, more importantly. I think you're trying to play games with us, Anthony, and I don't know why, but I think you do. So let's cut, all right?
Alright. I'm gonna be real with you.
What's going on in your life here recently, brother?
Like I said, I just met, you know what I'm saying, I just met him, like, so far in my days, like, I don't, you know what I'm saying, it really was just, like, typical day, you know what I'm saying, just chilling.
And you said
like,
Romeo?
smoking stuff. Yeah. What you mean, Romeo?
You just met Romeo?
Yeah, I just met Romeo.
If I showed you a picture of Romeo, would you be able to say who he is?
Yeah.
Do you see Romeo in this picture, in his six-pack? Can you circle this picture for me, please? You positive that's Romeo? Can you put today's date on there? It is the 5th, 3/5. So you met him for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know him?
I met him through Morgan.
Okay. So you've known him for several days, you met him through Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What has been going on between you and him?
Nothing, really, just chilling.
Let's not start that. Let's not start down that path again.
Not like real. I'm dead serious. Like, it's just chilling. You know, like this real. This being like totally honest. Like, he basically kind of like hit me up like out my day. Like, you know, what's up, bro? Where you at? You know what I'm saying? What's up? What you doing, bro? Mm-hmm. Type. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I've only known him a couple of days. So you know what I'm saying.
Do you know what type of character he is? Do you know what he's about?
I know he had mentioned about licks.
Right.
Now,
when
you
you
know that.
When you say licks, what exactly does that mean?
Like, I guess it's like licks, like, you know. Like,
Well, there's different
taking
types. Like,
taking
you're talking
people
about
and stuff.
burglaries, robberies.
Yeah, like just licks. You know, he was asking me about cars and stuff. I'm like, cars with rims. I'm like, nah. I'm saying I just don't know nobody like that. You could just like go in and rob. Like, I wouldn't.
Do you know if he carries a gun?
Uh,
Have you ever seen him with a gun?
I've never seen him.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
So like I said, like if he, man, I'm put like this. All I know, I will tell you this. This is all I know, and I promise this is all I know. I know he killed somebody.
How do you know that?
Because I told you when he got on the X pill, he started acting like real, like, you know what I'm saying, like I was like, you good, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I done something real bad. You know, I was like, asking, like, you want to talk about it, bro? What's up? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, he was just kind of like, like hesitant, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then I was like, just name himself, like, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? You know, ran from the police or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? And then it was, I was like, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Just asking them, just running through, you know what I'm saying, the list of things. Like, I've never met nobody who actually just been like,
I killed somebody?
exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like,
what was his response when you started asking, what do you mean? Well, what else did he tell you?
he wouldn't tell me no detail. That's all he told me.
Notice that Anthony is now speaking in hushed tones, as if he's saying something he's not supposed to be saying, an indicator that he's finally being honest with the detectives, at least partially. When he's asked what was said during his conversation with Stephen,
And I was like, you know what I'm saying, like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, he was just kind of like, like hesitant, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then I was like just name himself, like, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? You done ran from police or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, I was like,
He reverts back to this evasive way of speaking, where he mumbles over details, indicating that he's not being completely honest about what Stephen told him.
What do you think he meant by that?
That he killed somebody.
When did he tell you this?
He told me this Friday. Look, coming into Friday morning. That's
So
when we
Thursday
checked.
going into
Yeah,
Friday morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you with him Thursday?
Yes. It was me, him, Jordan, and Twist. I told you that's when he was following us in Jordan's car, the Malibu.
Okay. So he was in the Gallant?
Yeah, he was in the Gallant.
Who else was in the Gallant?
Just him.
Okay.
I only rode it that first time. The first time I had met up with him.
Let's not start on Wednesday again.
Yeah.
What day was that?
Did I rode in it? Wednesday.
Okay, are you just getting your days confused?
No, what I'm saying is I only rode in the Gallant once.
Okay, but what day was it that you rode in the Gallant?
Oh, Wednesday I rode in the Gallant. That's when I met up at Chevron.
Well,
Is this-
first off, let's back up a second because I've seen y'all on video at the Chevron and it's not on Wednesday, it's on Thursday.
So then I got
Okay.
my days mixed up.
That's right. So, where are y'all coming from?
Okay.
Anthony, now's not the time to bullshit me. Okay? Now is not the time to bullshit. This is your life on the line here. We need answers. We don't need bullshit. And right now you're scooping on bullshit thick. And and the end of this, bullshit gets you in a lot more trouble.
But then, like, okay, then I'm gonna be real. Morgan had mentioned something about the church, and that's the only thing that popped up in my head, like, you know, because he said they used to go there. They used to go there, like, her and a friend that I had at Kelsey. That morning, I have this Friday morning. It's coming up, like, when I went back to my house, like, at 6 something. You know what I'm saying? And then they both, you know, he said something about it. I was like, dang. I was like, and then.
What exactly did they say to you about this church?
That the pastor had died.
Okay. What was your response to that?
Like at that point, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not thinking of nothing, like, you know, like, I'm not, like, thinking of nothing, because then that's when old dude tells me that, you know what I'm saying, like that, he done something bad, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm not linking it up, like,
Anthony?
Yeah.
Were you with Romeo when he did something bad?
No.
Hold on. Mind you, like I told you, there's certain things that I already know. Were you with Romeo when he was doing things bad?
No.
Anthony, you need to understand, it's not an accident that we're sitting here talking to you.
Yeah, I already know it's not. And it's something serious,
Anthony,
and I think he did that, and I didn't do that.
No, you don't think he did that.
Well, basically, I'm trying to tell you, yeah, I know he did that from judging off of, like, you know what I'm saying, everything that was, like, you know what I'm saying, that was just, like, going off, like, you know, like, when you going to the mall, you know, I didn't know about the car or whatever, you know what I'm saying, but he's just being friendly and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying, oh, you know, that's what's up, you know what I'm saying, but, like nothing was bought, like, you know, I didn't purchase nothing, like, you know what I'm saying, so it was just, you know.
Yeah, but see, you keep walking those fine lines, and mind you, I've seen the videos of the stores you were in on the mall. And it's not like you weren't trying to buy
I was.
What was the only reason why you didn't get the stuff at that shoe store? What was the only reason why you didn't buy anything at that shoe store in the mall next to the J.C. Penney's?
He had pulled out a credit card.
And what happened to that credit card?
And it got declined.
Whose credit card is that?
I don't know.
Anthony, whose credit card is that?
It's got to be them, whoever he murdered, basically.
Anthony,
I'm gonna cut it straight to you. I'm gonna give it to you like this.
You need to give us the true
Okay.
whole story. Don't.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the
already
truth.
saying it's got to be them. You know there was more than one person there
Alright.
at the church.
He-
you know what happened. You need to just tell us the
Okay,
whole
when I met up with
story.
him, and I did not know I was riding in the high court.
who was with him?
Like, nobody. I told you I dropped off with my baby mama. Like, you know, I didn't know I was riding in the high court. You know, and then it started making sense because I ain't even gonna lie. I saw the news and all this stuff. Like, he did that. I didn't, like, you know, but I'm watching this like after the how the news replays itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking like, basically I'm trying to tell you like that he did it.
I know.
And I don't know
That's not an issue here. We knew that coming into this room.
Yeah.
We also know other things. And
Yeah.
how is it going to look with you guys going shopping on this dead person's credit card within about an hour or two of her death?
Yes.
Anthony, you need to stop bull.
What do you want me to tell you?
I want you to tell me.
I want you to know that I know he did do that, and I had nothing to do with that, and I
And
was
you
not
better,
there.
Anthony, you better convince me, brother.
And you know how.
Because
Okay, I want you to know that I didn't do anything because you can call my baby mother. Oh, yeah.
I'm not interested in
yeah.
I'm not
listen
interested.
to me. Listen to me for a second, Anthony. Look, dude.
How can I convince you that I wasn't there?
Anthony,
Like,
you're not going to convince us you weren't there, man. If you went along to hit a lick with him,
I swear,
Anthony, just listen for a second, man. Just listen for a second. Just stop talking for a second and listen to me, man. Okay? Just listen for a second. Okay? You're not going to convince us you weren't there. Okay? It's not going to happen.
I promise I wasn't there.
You've been lying since we walked in here, man.
And I've been getting around the whole thing, but he killed them, and then I know, and he killed one is a pastor and the secretary, like, and not like he told me vivid details, and that's what I've been bullshitting with.
What did he tell us? What did he tell you?
That he had smothered the pastor. Something I was like, and then it was a secretary. I don't know if it was a lady or something. He said it was a lady and a man in there.
Okay, Anthony.
And then I'm thinking like, you know what I'm saying?
What
like,
are the vivid details that he told you?
he said, I was like basically it all started like just like, you know what I'm saying, like coming together, like, you know, I'm not thinking like, you know what I'm saying, you using credit cards, you right, you know what I'm saying?
Anthony, we're starting to go.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to, like, I don't know, like, how serious, like, if we can go down to fingerprints, I swear on everything I love
Anthony,
that I was not there when that
Anthony,
happened, and
listen,
I promise.
Listen, you said he told you down to vivid details of what happened. Tell me the vivid details of what he told you. You started to say, he said that he smothered the pastor, and you started to talk about the secretary. Tell it down to the
He had told me that he had killed both of them.
Okay, but how did he say he did it?
He said he smothered them.
With what?
I don't know. Like that's why. If I could. My little girl just turned one. I'm just gonna go ahead and be forward. Like a snitch, being all that. I don't care. Like if this get out, ever try to find me, I know he did this. And I had no clue of it, like anything, like prior to after he done it. Like he didn't say nothing to me about it. I'm not thinking like I'm nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know.
Then what did he do?
When he tells me, when he starts telling me that stuff, and then I'm like.
What did he tell you that he did?
That he told me that he killed the pastor and the lady.
And how did he do it?
I told you, he said he smothered him.
With what?
I don't know. Like I'm trying to, like, I don't like. I'm really trying to tell you because this is my life at stake. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real. Like, I was not there when that shit happened. Like, when he got on that XP, he started telling me all them details and stuff.
Okay. And what are the details, Anthony? He told you the details. What are they? It's not. That's how he got the gun and everything. Okay, but what are the details of what he did?
He told me that he had killed a pastor and the secretary at church.
Okay, why did he kill him?
Just to come up, I'm thinking like, that's what I'm thinking like, you know what I'm saying? And that's really like the main reason why, you know, I try to like budge away from him. Like, I didn't want to be bound.
Why kill him though? Why not just take stuff? Why kill him?
Sorry, like if like I swear to God, I can't. I'm that type of person, like I couldn't see myself killing nobody. You know, so if somebody sitting here telling
Anthony,
me,
did he take this too far? Were y'all planning on just robbing him and then he did something else?
this is what when he did that, he was on his own. I never knew planned. I never like knew it was like, oh, some of the church like did it. It was nothing like that. Like it was nothing like that. That's why I'm sitting here telling you that I didn't do that. I'll be a snitch. I ain't tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be that. You know what I'm saying?
Well then, lay it out there and tell us what happened.
I know that he killed them people at their church.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's
well,
all, you can't
there
tell
was a reason why I told you that I only rode in the Galant one.
Why was that?
Because I knew what he had did. And that's why I stayed in the car with Jordan and Twist. That's why I rode with him when he was following us. I didn't want to be in that car because I knew what he had did. And he had told me, you know what I'm saying, basically when we had made back up that day after I told you I came from with my baby mothers, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, like, okay, like, you know, I don't remember watching the TV and the news and nothing like that, but, you know, then I just happened to hear about it, you know what I'm saying, through Morgan, you know what I'm saying, and then it's on the news. But, like, I don't know, like I can't sit here and even just explain to you like that I don't even have enough hate in my heart to even do something like that to anybody. Like you know, I scrunch up when stuff happen with animals, you know what I'm saying, like that.
And we're not saying
and,
that you did.
Yeah, I already know, and the fact why, you know, that like I said, like I didn't just, you know what I'm saying, just too much, just like, I knew about it, but I was kind of like distant, like, you know, it was like real like distant. We was chilling, but you know, when it was time to depart, it was time to depart, you know what I'm saying, like I wasn't riding around with him in that car, I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like nothing like that. When we were chilling.
Where's that car right now?
It's got to be at the Arbors.
Why did he decide to hit a church?
Like, on everything, like, I swear, like, it's on my little girl, my dear daddy. I did not know what he had did until after he did it.
But why did he decide to hit a church? What?
I guess for a quick come up, like, you know, I'm thinking like,
why a church?
Why would he decide to hit a church though? I mean, of all the places you could hit, why would he hit a church though? I mean, that seems like a weird place to hit.
If I knew, or if I could really just tell you why, like, you know, then, like.
But Anthony, you do know, and you could tell us.
I didn't. I'm gonna put it like this: when I didn't know until after he did that.
Okay, did he tell you after why he hit a church?
No, he didn't tell me why he did it, but I see why he did it because he got a car out of it, and you know what I'm saying. I guess that's why he was going to the mall. I know that's why he was going to the mall.
What else did he get out of that church? What else did you see him with? Did you get anything from that?
Mm-mm. Oh.
What'd you get?
I had an iPhone.
Where'd you get the iPhone?
I got it from him.
When did you get that iPhone?
When I met up with him, he was like, I got this iPhone. I was like, yo, alright. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what'd you do with it?
I traded it for the G1 because I couldn't unlock it for my service. Like, you know, whoever it was, you know what I'm saying, the code, I guess, apparently, you know what I'm saying, one of the pastor secretaries or whatever. But, you know, like, you know, I couldn't.
And that was the store in Irving that you traded that for? Where'd you trade it with?
I traded with my homegirl.
Who's that?
Her name, Ronika.
So he just gave you an iPhone out of the kindness of his heart?
Yeah, but I already knew that it was on some lick stuff. But I didn't know, like, you know, like, I'm not thinking like...
People don't typically just give people free stuff just for the kindness of their heart, even if it's...
I knew he hit a lick on it, but, like, so far as well, now I know that car don't belong to him.
What
First of all,
what else did he get?
That's all I know is that he was going to the mall. I seen him with a car. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I did, you know what I'm saying, Esther, you know what I'm saying, buy something, whatever. But that's when I had found out this.
What was in the car?
I don't know. Like it was when I got in it. Like I was in it, and then like, you know, after I found out, you know what I'm saying, I'm like kind of like.
Well, I mean, did he say he had anything for sale?
He didn't say that. He gave me the iPhone, so I thought he hit a lick on the iPhone. I thought the car was his, you know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I'm saying? He gave me an iPhone.
Well, I mean, he said that he told you details of what he did to the pastor and the ladies, so I mean, did he tell you what else he took?
Yeah, he took, I know he took the car, and obviously the phone, and I know that's their credit card.
How would he have gotten to the church?
He lives right there on Brown by the church. I can tell you where he lives and everything. Like, you know, like right there in them apartments. What's them apartments like? You gotta walk a little ways down. I'm not sure what the name of them. They're like townhouse apartment. But so far as like I say, that's the reason I got out the car with him. I knew he had been doing that, you know what I'm saying? I knew he had, you know what I'm saying, did something, you know, but like that's the reason I got out the car with him.
Okay, well then did he tell you who did this with him then?
He said he did it by himself.
He said he did it by himself?
Yes.
Okay, how did he do that by himself?
Sorry, like I'm telling you the honest to God truth. I was like literally, like he told me that he did it by himself. Like I swear on every, like.
Well, I mean, you said he told you details.
Right? Yeah. I told you. Then he told me he smothered him, and then it was a pastor and secretary. You know, I was like you know, asking them questions. I was like, dang, like, you know.
Well, so I mean, what I'm saying is, how did he do that to two people by himself? You said he told you details. So how was he able to do that to two people by himself?
I know he told me he I don't know exactly play by play what he did or anything, because like I said.
Well, but you understand my question.
But he told me he smothered them. He smothered them, and
okay.
He said he got them both himself.
But I guess my question is, Anthony, like, if you come at me and him by yourself, how are you going to control me and him by yourself? If there's just one of you and there's two of us, how are you going to do that by yourself? Did he tell you how he was able to do that by himself?
He said he fought the pastor.
Okay.
And
With what?
And he said he smothered him. And he fought him with the fist. And he had a BB gun. A BB, like a little, like, it's like a BB gun. It wasn't a real gun. And I ain't gonna lie, I seen it on the news. The lady lived, right? The lady lived, you know what I'm saying? Like whenever she's able, like, or whatever, you know, I heard she's in critical condition, like she'll be able to tell it out, because I promise you to God that I was not there. Did I know about it? Yes, I did. And that's part. That's the reason why I shied away from that gallant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they brought me the keys, you know what I'm saying, a while ago. His auntie, you know what I'm saying, brought me the keys, like, your friend forgot his keys. So, you know, I'm like, you know what I'm saying, okay.
Anthony,
Anthony,
hold on a second. You keep saying you're shying away from the gallant. You keep saying you're shying away from the property. But you willingly took a cell phone that you knew came out of a lick where a guy died.
Yeah.
You willingly accepted keys from somebody that you knew came from a lick where a guy died. You keep saying that, you keep telling me that that's the God's honest truth. You keep telling me that I'm shying myself away. What you're doing is you're trying to pass the buck. What you're trying to do is you're trying to pass on responsibility.
All right.
And that's just not going to fly, brother.
All right.
And Anthony, you're right. The lady lived. You're right. She's in critical condition. You're right. She is going to recover. And you are absolutely right. She's going to be able to identify who was there and did this to her.
And that's what I'm.
And that's going to happen like in a matter of a few hours.
And like I say, and I'm ready for that because like I say, so like I knew about you, right. You know, I knew about this. I'm thinking when the whole, you know what I'm saying, this shit like, okay, this shit crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, alright, you know. And yeah, you're right, I did take the phone, okay, yeah, you know, and then when he was going to the mall, you know, using them, you know, I had tried to get some shoes out of them. They said about it. I was like, and then they had got denied or whatever. But, like, I wish that lady go back up right now. I swear to you, like, I was not there, and I did not take place in that crime.
Then just tell us, you said he told you the details of it all. So tell us the details of it all. Tell us exactly what he said he did.
All he said is he said he went with the BB gun.
Okay.
That he knocked out the lady.
Okay.
And he knocked out he had told me he killed him.
Okay.
He told me he killed both of them.
So he thought he killed both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then like I said, I had saw the news, you know what I'm saying, when it was replaying, like, did the lady had lived, whatever, you know.
Okay.
Who was around you when you saw that news cast? Where were you at?
I was at Sundance.
Okay.
Morgan was there,
So
and her friend Allison was there.
Okay. Who else?
In Sundance, that's it.
Okay. So what does he say when he finds out the lady lived?
He starts panicking basically. Like, that's when he got on the pill, like man, I don't know, something. I'm like, what, bro, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, I mean, I feel where you coming from, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, like, I ain't never killed nobody and just like done no shit like that. So, you know, I was like, you know, I really can't tell you, but like, that, like, if I just, like I said, I wish he could wake up right now. I wish that y'all could go get some DNA, some evidence. I'll tell you where he lived.
Well, Anthony, back to what he said he did to him. Did he say what happened? Did he say like where it happened? I mean, I know it's in a church, but did he say where?
He didn't mention to me where.
Like when he went in there, did he plan on killing him? Did he say that?
I don't I didn't ask him those type of questions, like, because like
when he's telling you the story, does he say like
he doesn't tell me the story, just like, you know, I'm asking questions, like I'm not just like, were you planning to go in there?
No,
like,
but I mean, like, is he telling you like when he went
he
in
told
there?
me that he killed him.
I know, but Anthony, I guess my question is, like, when he goes in there, is he saying it like I went in there and I killed him, or is he saying it like something went wrong and so he felt like he had to kill him? You see what I'm saying? Like,
really thinking about how, like, just based off of knowing these few days, I say he probably done got away with something like that before. I don't know.
I mean, Anthony, do you understand what I'm asking? Like, did he go in there, because you're saying he had a BB gun.
Yeah, that's what he told me. But he told me he went over there, he walked up to the church.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said, I know he said that he had killed
Well, how did he get into the church? He walked through the front door? Did he go through a side door?
Like, does the church have cameras? Cause yeah, well, obviously, never mind, they don't outside. Okay, I don't know none of that.
Well, did somebody drive him to go do this?
No, he said he walked.
Did somebody drive him?
I asked him them questions. I was like, "How'd you get there?" He was like, "It was a church up the street." Like, you know what I'm what I'm saying? And then, you know, he told me to kill him. I was like, and I ain't gonna lie, I took the iPhone just simply because I was gonna sell it, but so far as using them credit cards, yeah, I did ask for a pair of shoes or whatever, but you know what I'm saying, that it told you it got denied, but when I tell you I wasn't there, like, I really mean it, like from the bottom of my heart that I wasn't there. Okay, you wanna know another thing that I could prove to that he wasn't that I wasn't there was the fact that when I met up with him and he had told me what he did, he had gave me some keys.
Mm-hmm.
He said it was a car up there.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know, it's not likely of me to like kinda like, I guess I was more styling it off like, nah, I'm good, like I don't wanna go hit that up, you know what I'm saying? I'm good, like, you know. It said Ford on the keys. It said Ford on the keys. Like I threw it.
Car?
He told me it was like a Ford Jeep, like, you know.
Okay.
So but like I said, I don't, you know what I'm saying. That's like, cause if I was there with him,
Mm-hmm.
like then he would like he literally tried to give me the keys, like with that phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here, you can have that phone. He's like, here, your car. I'm like.
Okay, but
They thinking in my head, like, you know what I'm saying, like if I was there, like what I'm saying is if I was there and we got two people's keys,
mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna drive off with their car.
Anthony, let me ask you this then. Have you ever been in that church before?
No, I haven't.
You've never been in there before?
No, I haven't.
So your fingerprints, there's no reason they'll be in there. There's no reason your DNA will be in there.
No freaking reason.
I mean, there are the hours and hours that our crime scene investigators went in there and fingerprinting that place, collecting swabs and DNA. There's no reason your stuff will be in there. Absolutely not.
And I promise you,
But
absolutely not.
You understand
Absolutely
where
not.
you understand where we're coming from.
Yeah, I understand where
You
you're
sit
coming
here
from.
and tell us, and if he tells us when we talk to him, if he tells
Then
us,
he's lying if he's saying that I'm with him.
and if this lady says that you were there,
Yeah, I'm not even worried about the lady. As long as she can remember what happened, like I said, the DNA, the towers you're talking about, I wasn't there.
when you understand the towers aren't going to lie to it, is he going to say that you were there?
No,
If he
he's not.
tells us the truth about what happened, is he going to
He's
say
not.
that you went with him to do this?
He's not.
Okay, so just like my partner said,
Mhm.
tell us the truth about what happened. That's all we're asking you to do. We're not trying to tell you to say something that didn't happen. All we want is the truth from you.
Okay. Like I said, I can start from, like, you want me to start all the way from the beginning, from when I first knew about it, because like I said, I wasn't there. First time I met up with him was Thursday
Okay.
at 2 o'clock.
Did he ask you to get a gun for him?
Yeah, he did. He did ask me to get a gun for him, but I never got a gun for him, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't try to fool. I called some people for him, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, but
You didn't try.
that was Thursday. He was asking for the gun.
You sure you weren't trying to get a pink gun and a shotgun and a whole bunch of other guns? And...
Oh, yeah. We was trying to hit
Come on, man. What else do I have to do to
We was
prove
trying-
you
we-
I know that
we-
you're
we-
full of shit?
We was trying to hit leak. No, look. We was trying to. I was with him. Remember, I said I was with him Tuesday till Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to hit leaks all that night, but nothing fell through. Nothing.
Okay, so again, man, you trying to tell me that you ain't a robber. You robbed some dude in November
Yeah.
at a McDonald's. You were trying to rob some people 2 freaking days before the church thing.
Mhm.
And now all of a sudden you're a saint?
I wasn't a part of that, sir. Like,
Dude, everybody in your inner circle that I've talked to has said the only time you two get together is when y'all go out and hit licks. Y'all don't hit licks apart. Y'all hit licks together.
but
And so that's out of character. Because I asked him, you know, I'm not here to just throw you in a cell and watch you rot. That's not fair.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I did that.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, everyone I've talked to
Yeah.
has told me that now they hit licks together.
Yeah. But
So every time
The
y'all
only
hit
time-
licks, y'all are together, except for this one time. The one time somebody dies. The one time it's improbable that one person did this by themselves. The one time. All of a sudden, it wasn't me.
I wasn't there during that robbery, so like I can't stress it enough. Like I wish like if she
And
could
you
just,
didn't know,
if she
and
could
you
just
didn't
come
know,
up,
and you didn't know it was gonna happen beforehand.
and I did not know it was gonna happen beforehand. I did not know, and I put that on.
So
on
your
everything
robbing
that I
partner,
love.
your robbing partner that's been asking you to get guns for him, who's gone out with you within 48 hours before this robbery, is going out there and saying, hey, let's go hit licks, trying to do all this stuff. Now all of a sudden he goes, nah, I'm not going to include him on this one, but I'm going to give him some property. I'm going to give him some keys to a car so he can go back and get it later. I'm going to give him an iPhone. Come on, let's go shopping at the mall. I'll get you some shoes.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like,
Come on, man, that's some bull on a stick, man. That ain't even close.
oh my gosh, I just wish you did it I don't know, like facts, DNA. I just wish you could just have all that CSI, whatever. I was
hold on a
not
second.
there.
Hold on a second.
I swear I was not there when he did that. Like I put that on everything I love. Like I was not there.
Do you understand why we would think you were there? Do you
Yeah,
understand that?
I totally do. Like that's just like I mean, what the fuck? Like I know everybody comes here. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It
Right.
wasn't me. That's fucking like that's is what it is. Like if that gun, if I had, you know what I'm saying, that gun, like if nobody would have bailed me out and I would have had to, I would have pled guilty to that because it's under my seat. What can I do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna take responsibility for that. Yeah, I will admit to you. Yeah, we were trying to hit licks that previous night all the way up until. You know what I'm saying? Until the sun came up, whatever, nothing fell through. Nothing fell through, you know, his parents came home, you know what I'm saying? He lived over there off of Brown.
Right.
I walked over to my little friend's house, whatever, you know, chill with her. And then I got away back over to my grandma's. And that's when I met up with Clyde. And then that's when I met up, when I told you I smoked a blunt with Clyde.
Okay.
And then I got dropped back off at my grandma's. And then my baby mother came and picked me up from there, and that's where I spent that Wednesday at, all the way up until Thursday till like 2 o'clock.
Yeah. He's gonna get caught.
I think he has no idea.
Like he has no idea.
He-
He's not worried about it. He thinks he's
Like
gonna come back on him.
Who does he think we're looking for?
He called me. He called me today, and he asked me about the news,
Mhm.
and he asked me if they said their name.
Mhm.
I said no. I said, and then he was talking about hitting my licks, and then I bro, out of love, bro. I think it's best you chill, like, you know what I'm saying, like, just cause simple fact, you know what I'm saying, like, cause that day he was about to go to the club in that car when I had left,
Uh-huh.
like, but I had made him. I was like, well, you know what I'm saying, I don't think it's smart, you know what I'm saying, like, it would be, you know what I'm saying, like, it wouldn't be smart, like, to go to the club in that car, you know what I'm saying, cause they catch you riding in that bitch, like, you know, like,
Are the plates the same on the car?
as far as I'm concerned, yeah, like, yeah, it's the same thing, everything.
But as far as you know, he doesn't think that. I mean, he doesn't think he's gonna get caught. He's not worried about it.
Last time I talked to him, he told me that he was going to Dallas, that he would meet me in Dallas.
All right.
Give us a second, let's go talk and we'll see if we can.
Figuring they'd gotten all the information they were going to get from him, the detectives collected a DNA swab from Anthony before releasing him back to his cell. Officers were then sent to recover Judy's car, which they found at the Arbor's apartment complex just as Anthony had stated. Meanwhile, a warrant was written and authorized for the arrest of Stephen Nelson for a charge of capital murder, and hours later, around 1:30 p.m., detectives got the call that Stephen had been located and arrested at his mother's house at the Woodbridge Townhomes complex, a complex also located on Brown Boulevard and eerily close North Point Church. Later that evening, officers returned to his mother's home with a search warrant and found exactly what they were looking for: the green shirt and jewelry that Stephen had purchased with Judy's credit card. They also found a pair of black and green shoes belonging to Stephen that appeared to have traces of blood on the outside. The only thing missing was the pair of white shoes he'd purchased at the mall. But upon visiting the jail, they found the shoes as well as more jewelry in Stephen's property locker. Now there was only one thing left to do: find out why Stephen would enact such a cruel and devious crime.
Well, Stephen, I always kind of start all my interviews like this, but is there any particular reason why a couple of detectives would be wanting to talk to you?
No.
Nothing you can think of? You been in any trouble here recently? Have you had any fights with anybody here recently, or anyone upset with you, or?
No. Okay. I've been reporting to probation. That was it.
Who's your probation officer?
Sherry Price.
Sherry Price. Okay.
She's at the Frank Crowley building in Dallas.
In Dallas, so it's out of Dallas County?
Yes, sir. I'm on the 9th floor.
Dallas County. And you're on probation for what?
Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Okay. I'm not really here to talk to you about that. I'm assuming you've already been adjudicated and that's passed and everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're not on probation or parole for anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, the reason why we'd like to talk to you is that your name has come up in an investigation in which we're working, okay? And the reason why we collected your clothes is that anytime we do these investigations, we try and be as thorough as possible. And the main thing we seized is your jewelry. How'd you come about that jewelry? The necklace and all that? How long have you had that?
For a hot minute. I had it for a hot minute.
For a while? Okay. So like weeks, days, months, years?
Where's all this going to, though?
Well, I'd like to kind of, just ask this question and we can kind of build on it.
Stephen is already showing hesitance and an anxious desire to prepare himself for what's to come. It's also notable that over the last minute or so, he's repeatedly scratched his face. This is suspicious when you consider that high levels of stress can cause an increase in blood pressure, which in turn often causes the skin to feel itchy or tingly. The scratching also gives him an excuse to put his head down and momentarily hide his face. This is called face shielding and is typical in people who are trying to hide something or distance themselves from a situation. Even though he's trying his best to maintain a cool demeanor, Stephen's body language indicates that he knows he's in hot water.
Anytime we start with these things, it's always kind of like a little, I'm trying to gauge you and you're trying to gauge me.
Okay. So I'm here for, they said I'm charged for capital murder.
Yes, sir, you are.
I never killed nobody in my life.
Okay. Have you been around anything where some disagreements have occurred? Is there anything that we need to know about?
I ain't been around nobody who disagree with anybody, fights, shooting anybody, none of that.
Okay. Where have you been staying here recently the last couple of days?
My mom.
Your mom's house?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the house up there over Brown?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you been hanging out with some friends or what,
Yes,
kind of walk me through your last week?
Well, let me see. I've been hanging around with AG and Twist and
AG?
Merc.
Who?
Merc. Merc got long hair, ponytail, black.
1 or 2 in the morning? 1 or 2. And you woke up at around noon, hung out at the house cleaning up until about 4. Met up with, let's back up and go one more day. Let's go Wednesday real quick. I forgot Wednesday. So where were you at prior to 1 o'clock at night? You said you're at your mama's house?
Yeah. And at nighttime, I'm in the house at nighttime.
Okay. What about Wednesday evening? Where were you at?
At home.
At home?
Yeah.
What about Wednesday afternoon?
At home.
So all day Wednesday you were just at your mama's house? Never left it? All day.
I don't really go out unless it's like club night.
Okay. What's typically club night for you?
Like Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night.
Stephen, do you have a car?
No.
No?
How do you typically get around that?
Call my friends, my sister, or ask my mom to drop me off.
What's your sister's name?
Kitson.
Okay. Is there any other place that you can think of that you were? Have you done anything exciting? Have you gone, besides going to California? Have you been out of town any other time, or have you gone out to eat? Have you gone to any other clubs? Have you been to a liquor store? Have you done any shopping? Have you been to a grocery store? Have you been to convenience stores? Is there go buy a pack of do you smoke?
Yeah.
What do you smoke?
Black and mild.
Black and mild. Did you ever run to like the corner store to ever pick up a black and mild other than what you told me here? Did you run to any of the stores between Wednesday and today?
Yeah, I bought a pack of black and milds.
When was that?
When was that? Tuesday. But a whole pack. Cause I don't smoke like chain smoke.
Right.
I smoke every once in a while. A pack can last me a while.
Okay.
So I think about Tuesday.
Okay. So that pretty much lasted you up until now?
Yeah.
Okay. But between then and until the time you got arrested, have you been any other place that I need to know?
I don't think.
Not that you can think of? Okay. How long have you had that jewelry?
For a while.
Are you sure? How'd you get it?
At the mall.
Which mall?
Parks Mall.
Parks Mall? When did you buy it? Was it a gift or did you buy it or?
It's a gift.
It was a gift? Who gave it to you?
Is my jury involved?
Well,
I mean, look, you can just come straight up, you know what I'm saying? If you want to know something, just don't beat around the bush, just ask. I'll tell you if it...
okay. Well, when did you get that jewelry? Did you buy it on Thursday?
Yeah,
Okay. Where'd you buy it from?
Parks Mall.
Okay. How'd you pay for it?
Credit card.
Whose credit card was it?
I don't know whose credit card was it. I just found it and got it.
How did you get the credit card?
Huh?
How'd you get the credit card?
Found it.
Where'd you find it?
Do you know where... What is that right there? Do you know where that Kroger's is? Right before you get to that Kroger's?
Kroger.
Off of Brown?
Okay.
The shopping center right there?
Okay.
It was right there. Now when you go down that way, like on the sidewalk, in the grass, that's why I just threw them out.
Okay. When did you find that?
When was it? When I got up and I left.
And when did you get up and leave? Because
I got up.
I don't remember having that conversation the last time.
You told me what time I woke up. You didn't say if I left or anything.
Actually, I asked you if you'd
You
been
did?
anywhere
Oh.
or if you'd gone anywhere else.
Okay, Stephen, why didn't you want to tell us about that?
Huh?
Why didn't you want to tell us about that?
No, ain't no secret. I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you where I found them at. That's all. Ain't no secret or anything.
Those weren't your credit cards.
No, those were my credit cards. But I was thinking, that's quick money, so I just...
Do you know?
No.
Do you remember the name on the credit card?
No, I didn't pay attention. I was just excited to get a credit card. I went to the mall.
Okay. And who gave you a ride over to the mall? That's a long walk from North Arlington.
AG and Twist.
AG and Twist.
Yeah.
Whose car were you in?
Twist.
Twist car.
Yeah.
His truck.
Yeah.
What time did you get to the mall?
Let's try to get to the mall. Then we got there about 3:30.
Did you try and use that Discover card anywhere else? Like on the way to the mall or after the mall? Did y'all try and use it anywhere else?
Cause soon as it declined, I just threw it out the window.
What about before the mall though?
No, I don't think so.
Do you remember stopping at a Chevron? They're off of 360.
Did I stop at this Chevron?
I'll tell you what, I'll answer it for you. You did.
I'm trying to think.
He's definitely trying to think, but not about the events of the other day. He's trying to think of a way out of the situation. Given the details the detectives have presented this far, he already knows that he's caught, but he's apparently convinced that if he can lie well enough, he can somehow wiggle out of the situation. Let's see how far that gets him.
I probably did.
You did. I'll jump ahead. You did stop there, okay?
Okay.
How did you get to that Chevron?
Drove.
How'd you drive? What car?
Huh?
What car did you drive?
I don't remember what car it was.
Are you sure? So you don't remember what car you drove to Chevron, but you don't have a car, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So whose car did you drive?
I don't know.
Did you find it on the side of the road too?
What, that car?
Yeah.
No.
What type of car was it? Was it newer, older?
I don't know. I guess, I don't know if it's new or old.
What color was it? Steven, look at me for a second, man. Obviously, I mean, we're leading down a path that you know where we're headed, okay? I'm not trying to beat around the bush, but at the same time, I'm also trying to get anytime I ask these questions, I always try and gauge how people are reacting to them, okay? And by no means am I not trying to insult your intelligence or anything like that, but also, I can tell right now you're starting to get into that slippery slope of lying to me, okay? I mean, if by now you haven't figured it out that I've already known where you've been through these last couple of days.
I already know that.
I know you do.
But I didn't kill nobody. I can think of a lot of the tips. I didn't kill nobody.
Okay, where were you then? How'd you get that car?
Well,
Hold on, back up. Let's be honest. How did you get that car?
I did not take that car.
How'd you get it then?
Somebody let me use that car.
Who let you use that car?
I don't want to say.
Well,
Stephen, now's not the time to not say. You know what we're here to talk to you about. You're sitting there saying you didn't kill nobody. You know what we're here to talk to you about.
They arrested me for capital murder. I didn't kill nobody.
Okay, then who did?
I never killed nobody in my life.
well then what happened?
I wasn't even there. I was at the house.
Stephen, look, man. If you're saying you weren't there and you didn't kill anybody, fine. Okay? Are you willing to do somebody else's time?
No.
Okay. Well, if you,
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Was my fingerprints there?
Worse than that.
Huh?
Stephen, you left stuff all throughout that crime scene. Okay?
Like what stuff?
Well, like your belt stuff, like a shoe print stuff. I'm sure your fingerprints are going to be all over it. DNA is going to be on it.
DNA on what?
All over the crime scene. Steve, it's not a mystery that we ended up here. Okay? I'm not Miss Cleo, but I think I've got a pretty good grasp on things. Okay?
So you saying that I killed the person?
Yes, I think you did. Stephen, if you didn't, well then fine, convince me. You didn't find those credit cards on the side of the road. I know exactly where you got them. You got them off of my victim. And y'all were blowing them up. You were riding around in my victim's car. I know where the keys are. I know where the car is.
Where's the keys at?
The keys are in my property room. The car is in my seizure lot.
And where did you get the keys from?
I got them off of AG.
Where's AG at?
In the jail.
Here?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you find him?
I'm good.
I want he went answer the phone.
Yeah.
And let me shore up some things. I've already talked to AG. So, like I said, it doesn't take a miracle worker to find you at that point, does it?
And Stephen, just so you know, we're not lying to you. The car was parked in the Arbor's Post Oak Apartments.
Up off of Trinity and 360.
Okay. We'd like to hear your side of the story about what happened.
What evidence do you have?
Well,
I've already told you you've left shoe prints on there. What shoes were you wearing Thursday? Those black Nikes with the green on them, right? Are you sure? Because my victim's blood's on them. And the shoe print you left at the scene matches the shoe print on those shoes, because we have those now.
Well, which one? On Nikes. The only Nikes I got are my orange ones.
No, you have about...
Jordans.
You have Jordans, same difference, I'm sorry. Same difference. I remember back before they were just Jordans. I remember they were Nike Air Jordans. So I apologize for that. But the green ones and the black, remember, it's got the funky thing on there, 'cause my victim's blood's on them, on your shoes. Your belt, Your belt's missing a couple of those white notches. Guess where they're at? They're in my crime scene. Look.
What else you have?
Stephen, this isn't exactly a time to be playing a whole lot of games here. And the reason why I'm asking is this, Stephen. What we have is we have a dead pastor inside of a church.
I didn't kill no pastor.
Well, then,
I go to church. You guys, my mom.
What church do you go to?
I go to church every Sunday.
Okay.
Killing is the last thing.
Okay. Well then, if you didn't kill him, who did?
But you said that you think I killed him. I didn't kill nobody.
Well then, who did? Who was with you when this happened? And Stephen, to tell me that you weren't inside of that church that morning, don't be playing that game. Okay? Because I can disprove that 100 different ways.
Well, what is AG charged with?
Right now, he's being charged with aggravated robbery.
Robbery.
Mm-hmm.
How did robbery come in there?
Things were taken from the church, such as a car, such as some credit cards, such as some other things. Now is the time for you to start, because AG's playing games, and guess what he's saying? He's pinning everything on you. He's saying that you killed that guy.
No, I didn't kill nobody.
Then what happened?
I didn't kill nobody.
But then what happened?
I didn't touch nobody.
Then what happened? To say you weren't there, that's not going to fly. To say that you didn't use those, to say that you got the credit cards on the side of the road, that's crap. You didn't get that on the side of the road. No more than you weren't in that church. You were in that church. You were there when that man died. You were there when that lady was severely beaten and almost died. And that's damn unlucky for you.
Wow.
Because she's going to be able to identify you.
Yeah. And she wanted to identify. I wasn't there. I went
You
inside.
let me tell you this. You have a very distinct look about you.
Like what? What's my look?
You have tons of tattoos, man.
Yeah.
I mean, dollar signs on the eyelid, on your...
Eyelids.
I mean, that's not exactly something that's...
Unmissable. And you can take my picture now and go show her.
I will.
And she's going to say that's not the one.
If it wasn't you, who severely beat her and who killed that man? Wasn't me?
Can I take a lie detector test?
I don't have one right here. If you want one, we can probably set one up a long time down the road. But you got bigger issues than that right now. Because I guarantee you, those people's DNA, that blood is going to be on those shoes. Your fingerprints and your DNA is going to be in that crime scene. And you were in my victim's car at about 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon at a Chevron station in Arlington.
I went 1 o'clock.
What time was it then?
I was around 3-ish.
No,
2-ish.
you were at the mall by then.
No, I was at the mall about 3:30. I know this. Because the show was off Mayfield.
Yeah, that's actually where it was.
Okay. And did you see that PT Cruiser pull up?
I sure did.
And who got out?
AG.
Okay.
Stephen, like I said, man, you're wanting to argue about small stuff like that. I mean, that's not the issue.
I'm not talking about small stuff.
I mean, do you want to talk about the big issue? I mean, now's your chance to talk about it.
I didn't kill nobody.
Okay, then who did? What happened? I mean, did you go there to do a robbery, hit a lick, and something went bad? If you did, then tell us what happened. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that you went there intending on killing somebody. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying you're some killer that said, hey, I'm going to go kill a pastor today.
I never killed nobody. I
I'm
didn't
not
kill an
saying-
animal, period.
Stephen, I'm not saying you are. I don't know you. I've never met you before. Never talked to you before today, right? I'm not saying you are. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just asking you what happened. That's it. Okay? I'm asking you if you went there to hit a lick and something went bad. If that's what happened, that's what happened. I'm not asking you to say something that's not true either. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm not asking you to lie. I'm not trying to make you say something that's not true. So what happened?
I didn't kill nobody or anything like that.
Okay.
And
I
what
didn't
did
beat
he?
nobody. I didn't put my hands on nobody.
Okay. Well, then who did?
Bless you.
Thank you. I didn't kill nobody.
And what happened?
I wasn't even in the room when it did happen. I wasn't even in that little section.
What happened? Who was with you? Stephen?
Yeah.
Feel bad for what happened?
Yeah, that was wrong. It was wrong.
What happened?
I don't want to be no snitch on nobody, man.
This isn't the time.
I mean, we're not asking you to snitch on somebody for dope or something like that. I mean, snitching, I understand that for stuff like dope or stealing something from somebody. But you said it yourself, that was wrong. So, I mean, this ain't about snitching on somebody for...
This man had a family. He has a pregnant wife.
So, I mean,
He has a congregation.
without saying who did it, what happened? I mean, let's just start with that. Without even saying who did it, what happened?
I don't even want to say. I went there. I went.
Well, I mean,
you already got the person that's already here. So I'm gonna leave it like that.
well, Stephen, we can't just leave it like that. And you know that, man. You know, I mean, Stephen, the thing is, if it was you,
No, it wasn't.
no, listen to me. I'm saying if somebody did this to you, or somebody did this to your family, we'd be doing the same thing for you or your family. We would. And we'd be asking the same questions for you or your family. And you'd want us to do that for you or your family. If somebody did this to somebody you loved, wouldn't you? And you'd expect us to keep going and going until we got the answers for you or your family. And that's only right. And so we can't leave it at that. Okay?
Besides, if that little hint of yours is just there, you're saying AG did this? Because I'll tell you what he's saying. He's saying it wasn't me, it was you.
No, it wasn't me. I ain't that type of person.
Well,
So who was?
The person you already have.
Which is?
Not me.
Well, we got you.
I'm trying. You said AG's already here, right?
yeah, he's here.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Well, then you're gonna have to disprove your side of things then. Walk me through what happened. How'd y'all get to the church?
Well,
From your mom's house? Who had the gun?
that BB gun,
Who had it?
AG. That's AG's BB. Well, that's Merck's BB gun.
What does it look like?
Like a 9mm
Is it metal or is it a little plastic?
plastic.
Who was carrying it? AG? What time were y'all leaving your mom's house?
Round 2.
Around 2?
Yeah.
Okay. What time did y'all get to the church?
I didn't go. Well, I didn't go inside till afterwards.
Okay.
What do you mean you didn't go until afterwards?
He called me on the phone. Well, I went in. The front door was locked.
Well, how did he get in?
He went to the window, waved his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody came and opened it for him.
Who?
I don't know.
You didn't see?
No, because I was over where the bushes at. In the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was right there.
So how long was he inside?
For about 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
45.
He was in there a while.
Well, what did he say happened?
He didn't tell me till we got in the car.
But why did he pick the church Why did y'all walk to that church?
Can you say it's gonna be an easy lead? Some quick money?
Well, who was scouting it out? Because that's not exactly just like...
I don't know. I ain't never been to that church in my life. I don't know who was. I thought it was in Japanese people. It says First Baptist Church of China or something like that. So I really don't pay that church no mind. I just got out of ISF on the 22nd of February, so I really, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so he goes to the front door, waves his arm. Somebody lets him in.
Yes, sir.
And you're just standing out in the bushes for 45 minutes?
No, I'm standing beside the bushes.
Okay.
And I start walking towards like a library. The library like probably like 20 yards away.
Mm-hmm.
I walk down the sidewalk and I walk back. And just kind of just look out. You know what I'm talking about?
And what happens?
Then he comes to the front door and he lets me in. So I go in and look and I say, where the people at? He said, no, I took care of that, son. Took care of that.
What was he wearing?
Black.
All black? Was there anything funny looking about him? Did he have any, like, blood on him?
I don't know, because he been in there. Did I go to... So we both go to, I guess it's like a little... There's stairways. When you first come into like stairways.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a glass office to the right. And I stand right there at the door. And he goes into that back office with the glass. And I hear like commotion, he digging through something. Then he comes out with 2 sets of keys.
What else does he have?
The credit cards, cell phone.
What type of cell phone?
There's an iPhone 4 or iPhone 3.
Mm-hmm.
He had that.
What else?
That's all that I could see him.
What about the laptop?
Yeah, man. Oh, he had a bag, a black bag. I guess the laptop was in there. That was all. That was it right there.
Reverend, what did you see?
When I went in, there was, when I walked in, the chair was toppled over, one of those sitting chairs.
Mm-hmm.
There was another chair toppled over on this side of the room. There was some blood on the floor. When he's over there in the corner, there was somebody right there laying down. Then there was somebody over there laying down. I didn't threw up. I went outside. I ran straight outside.
Okay, but what did you actually see though?
The person laying on the ground.
What were they? White, black, Hispanic, Asian?
White people.
Were they both men, both female, one man, one female?
I know this was a man. He was a pretty big dude.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
Khaki pant, white shirt, I think.
What about the other person?
I didn't see him.
Okay, and Stephen, we need to know, did you touch either one of them? Because we're going to find out.
Nah, I didn't touch either one of them. So when I seen it, I ran back outside because that's the first time I seen it. When somebody like that, I ran straight back outside.
How far into the room did you get? Were you just standing by the doorway?
By the doorway. Like,
did you ever go by the people?
Nah, I didn't go by the people. Like, I went to, it was like a little chalkboard.
Mm-hmm.
And he was over there behind the desk. It was a chalkboard. And there was blood on the floor, and so I walked, something like that, and I looked. Nah, I guess I walked back out.
So you were never over by the desk?
No, I never walked back to the desk.
Did you ever walk over by the person next to the desk, the guy?
I looked like that. You know how you take a step?
But you never like walked over and like looked like directly over him or
No,
anything?
I took a big step like that and then walked back right outside.
Never walked over by the other person?
I walked about the other person.
You sure?
Positive. When I walked in, can I stand up?
Mhm.
When I walked in the door, AG over there in the corner. So I walked.
What's he doing when he's over in the corner?
He's digging through so I look,
What is he digging through specifically?
the drawers. That's about that.
Did you dig through any drawers?
Nah,
Touch any? Are you sure?
Positive. I didn't touch no drawer. Not that I remember. I didn't touch no drawer.
Well, not that you remember is a different thing. I
I-
want you to remember.
No.
Are you sure? You didn't touch any of the desks, any of the credenzas?
What's this? What's credence?
It's like the little things with the drawers that pop out on the sides. The little wooden looking things.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Probably. I don't think so. I don't think I did.
Are you sure?
I don't know. You tell me if I did. Did I? My fingerprints on there?
I don't know yet.
Okay. I don't think I did.
Okay.
And I looked like that. To the person that was in the corner, look like that. Went back outside.
What else did that person look like? You said he was a white guy, white shirt and
That's
khakis. Anything else distinct about him?
A big dude, that's all. That was,
How bad was he messed up? Was he
he was bleeding from the head.
from the head? How long do you think you were in the room?
A quick 2 minutes. Got to go in there and look around and smell that smell. And I walk outside.
So when y'all left in the Galant, where did y'all go?
We went to my house.
Okay.
Then his baby mom came and picked him up.
Okay.
And they went somewhere. And we met back up at Mayfield.
At the Chevron.
At Chevron.
Okay.
Then
What?
I got her some gas.
Mm-hmm.
I got some gas.
Okay.
And we left. Me and AG left.
And then you went back by the church? Is that when y'all went back by the church?
Yeah, that was when we went back right by the church.
And
Yeah,
you
we
were gonna
came-
get the
He was. So we get the
Okay.
truck.
Okay.
So then we went back on Mayfield and got some X pills.
Okay. Okay, so that's why it was so much later that you went back by
Yeah.
the church. Okay.
Then
Did y'all trade the stuff y'all got from the church for the X pills?
he still had the iPhone on him, but he could unlock it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he sold it to somebody else later on that night.
What about the rest of the stuff?
I don't know where the rest of that stuff was.
What happened to the pistol? Little BB gun.
I don't even know where it's at. That's
Who had it?
AG had
When?
all the time.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Do you have a pistol?
No, I don't want to go.
Have you ever had any pistol or anything that looks like a pistol? Did you ever carry anything Thursday that looked like a pistol?
I have to go.
Okay.
Well, what?
Everything I'm saying is true. I ain't.
Well, but here's the thing, okay? Because AG's saying, I didn't kill nobody. He went in, he did what he did, he came back out, and yeah, he tossed me the keys, and I was going to get the Ford. But I was like, nah, I don't want to do that, because I can't believe he did what he did inside that church.
Nah,
Then we get in the car and leave.
nah.
And I swear I didn't touch anything. My fingerprints aren't going to be on anything and all this other crap too. So, I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, the lady's going to pull through.
Yeah.
Okay? She's going to live. Okay?
I mean, you
So
know
that means
that,
she's
right?
going
Yeah, I
that
know
means
that.
she's going to talk.
Yeah.
Okay? And I have a strange suspicion she's going to tell me that you and AG are the two people that were in there doing what y'all did.
But I didn't kill nobody though. That's the point.
But Stephen, were you in there when?
When it happened?
Yes.
No. When
But you understand she's going to tell us though, right?
I understand that.
Whether both of y'all were in there or not.
I understand that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
That night, okay, we went to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
What we go to? We rode around. We went to Twist's house. We gave Twist, or AG gave Twist a car, another car. He put gas in his car. We went to the Auburn's. AG told me to go wipe the car down and park it in the back. Hard to.
Why'd you wipe the car down if he kept the keys?
He just told me to go walk the car down, I guess he was finna drive it again. What else? Then that later night, he went by the church and he told me that there's a whole bunch of news crew out there. Cause he's gonna go check on the truck again.
What car did he drive? What car did he take to drive?
I think he was with somebody else.
Who?
I don't know.
Where were you at?
At the house.
At your mom's house?
Yeah.
So one person's gonna go in there, and AG's a decent sized guy, but he's not a bodybuilder.
I know, but you see how big the white dude was? He was long. I looked at him, he was long.
Right, that's my point.
And how can I beat somebody to death?
Well, if there's two people, one person's holding a gun on them, or what they think is a gun. Did AG hold the gun on him?
He had the gun the whole time. He had to.
So what did you do to him?
I didn't do nothing to him. My fingerprint ain't gonna be on him. I didn't do nothing to him.
What was the plan? AG hold the gun, you take the stuff, bless you.
I was thinking, can I use your restroom?
Yeah. Come on.
Stephen has opted to give himself a break in order to get his thoughts together. Meanwhile, the detectives have now been put in an interesting position where Stephen is pointing the finger at Anthony is pointing the finger at Stephen, and the cops are pointing the finger at both of them. Now, with two completely different stories, the detectives have to determine, within the next few hours, which one is lying.
I don't know him, but I met him one time.
Met him one time? When did you meet him?
When was it? Thursday night?
So you met Sean on Thursday night after all the drama? Did y'all say anything to him? Have you told anyone about this? Has AG's told anyone about this?
I can't tell you. I don't even know.
How long have you known AG?
About a week.
About a week?
Probably.
Okay.
How'd you meet AG?
Through Morgan.
Who's Morgan?
So I guess he's his best friend.
Is Morgan white, black, Hispanic?
White.
White. Is she young like y'all, or is she older? Is she...
Young, probably around our age, I think.
What happened to the laptop?
I don't know.
So I guess AG took it. Do you don't have any idea what he did with it?
One thing about what you see over there.
And you said he took the iPhone?
Yeah, I have it.
Who did he... You said he sold the iPhone because he couldn't
I
get...
think he did, because you can't get it unlocked, so.
Who did he sell the iPhone to?
I don't know. I told that one guy, I don't know who he sold it to.
Okay. I must have missed that part. I remember you said he must have sold it, but I don't remember the last part. So it was kind of the deal, you get the credit cards, he gets the property?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Did y'all get any money out of this? Like actual money?
Mm-hmm.
How long were y'all in the church for the entire time? For about 45 minutes, you said?
I was on the outside. I was outside.
And so he went in there for about 45 minutes?
5 minutes.
So one person, just him,
Mm-hmm.
beat those people the way he did?
I don't know if he beat him or not. I don't know what he did. But he was in there 45 minutes.
Well,
I came in.
Steve, I'll tell you like this, okay? You know, I just met you again and all that stuff, but there's obviously we've been doing this a day or two, okay? And I've seen a lot of beatings. I mean, I've seen people get beat with about everything there is to get beaten by a human, okay?
Mm-hmm.
These people were beaten probably the worst I've seen, okay? And one person could not have beaten them in the manner in which they were beaten. This.
Okay, but I didn't assault nobody.
Did you just hold the pistol on?
I didn't have no pistol. I didn't kill nobody, didn't assault nobody. None of that.
You just happened to go in there right after your friend did this, didn't ask any questions,
I
But then
looked,
took
I'm
the
like,
pro-
damn.
but then
I'm
but,
like,
but then took the
damn.
proceeds. You didn't say, Dan, what'd you do? Dan, why'd you do all
Damn.
this?
That's it. Then we left.
This is a dude you met a week ago. Kills 2 people that you think in a church, and you just, all right, man. Well, that's on you. Let's go to the mall.
Pretty much.
Steven, that's hard to believe.
What? That I wouldn't diss myself?
Well, it's hard to believe that if you didn't distance yourself, that you had no knowledge of what was going on, that you had no actions inside of that room, that you had no actions in the planning, that you had no knowledge of anything. So you walked up to this church and said, hey dude, did you even ask him why y'all were going to that church? You told me earlier y'all were just going to get some money, right? You was going to hit a lick? Do you often stand outside and while people hit licks? Go inside and rob people? Have you ever robbed anybody? Never? Were y'all trying to rob somebody Tuesday night?
Tuesday night?
Y'all weren't out trying to hit licks? Because AG said you were. Y'all were out trying to hit some licks.
I didn't rob nobody Tuesday. I didn't.
I know, because everything fell through. Couldn't find anybody. Some lady gave you like a thing of dimes or quarters or something.
No, that was Merck.
Merck gave you some quarters?
No, Merck did rob that lady.
It's one thing if we sit here and we're talking to a dumb
Yeah.
and the dumb says dumb things.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It's consistent. Okay? If I was over here talking bullshit to you,
Mm-hmm.
how would you view me? You'd view me as a bullshit artist dumb, right?
I'm telling
You're
you.
a smart man.
Oh, I'm
and you're telling me dumb.
Hey, I'm telling you the shit that happened. I'm outside,
but
look, watching.
But that's...
Okay, what in the point of the story that you don't comprehend very well? Which one?
I don't... The part I don't comprehend is that you go over with him to go do this lick.
Mm-hmm.
And you just outside mind your business. We acting as
I'm watching up.
So you're acting as a getaway or a good eye.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're making sure no one comes and messes and disturbs him.
Yeah.
Okay. Did y'all have that preconceived? Was that you're rolling this lick?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were acting as a good eye, and so he goes in and does this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I mean,
because there was somebody outside across the street.
Right.
In a black truck.
I remember you telling us that.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, you know that he's going to go rob these people. He's going to rob this church.
I know he's gonna rob the place.
So you're participating in it, and then...
But I didn't know he was going to kill the people.
Okay. But see, now that's, again, now we're getting a little bit... See, the first time...
The first time I told you, I was outside watching because there was somebody outside working on their house.
Right, but your story is subtly moving towards...
What?
More towards probably the God's honest truth. Because the first couple generations of your story are hard to believe.
For the first time when I said I found the credit card on the gun, that was a lie.
Yeah. We're past that. We're past that. But even in the first part of you saying that we were at the church and all this stuff, you was like, man, I didn't know he was doing anything. Well, we knew he was going to go rob the place.
I didn't say I didn't know he was doing anything. I knew because we went up there to hit a leg.
Okay.
So that means I knew what he was going to rob. He was going to do one thing, rob the people.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew. That part.
Mm-hmm.
The extra part that happened, I did not know that.
Well, he's saying that y'all were going to go hit a lick and that he didn't know you were going to take it too far.
No.
So how can I disprove things?
I don't know how can you disprove things.
I'll tell you what. Is your DNA in the system? Do you know if it's been encoded or anything like that?
I don't know.
Like, did they ever take DNA from you?
In jail?
The draw blood?
Or no, DNA. Well, maybe, I don't know if they took your blood or not.
TDC draws DNA to see if
Through
you have
blood?
warrants, yeah.
Okay. Just in case, do you mind if I get a second sample from you just to make sure?
My lawyer, I would.
Okay.
But you said the prison system took it from you?
Yeah.
They did? Okay.
I don't know if your DNA is already in the system or not. Okay, that's why I'm asking.
What's my blood to do? If I left blood there?
No. Just other DNA, skin cells. Anytime you touch something.
The skin, the
Yeah.
particles.
Right.
Off.
Right. And Your DNA is in that. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's what we're trying to make sure, that your DNA isn't anywhere that it shouldn't be. Okay.
Because like, remember we were asking you if you touched either one of the people that was in there.
Mhm.
And if you touched anything that was on either of the people that were in there, you said no, that you didn't.
You didn't touch any of their clothing?
No.
You didn't touch anything around them?
No. The door, they said.
The door?
That's how that's.
Did you open it up? Okay. Did anyone else open it up or touch it?
AG.
AG did. Did you have any blood on your hands when you touched that door?
No.
Did AG have any blood on his hands when he touched that door?
I don't think so.
Don't think? Okay. I'm asking you because we found a bloody fingerprint on that door. And we have that door handle, that's why I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. Why mine?
Wasn't yours, so it'd be AG's? To the best of your knowledge, it would be?
Immediately upon learning about the bloody fingerprints, Stephen takes a sip from his bottle, as he's done consistently throughout the interview. Dry mouth commonly happens when the body goes into fight, flight, or freeze mode, and these repeated sips of water, especially when preceded by bad news like the bloody fingerprint, suggest that Stephen is experiencing a spike in anxiety and likely being dishonest. Water breaks also give a suspect a split second to think of something to say, which they wouldn't need to do if they were telling the truth. And the truth is that, given the presence of blood on his shoes, it's almost impossible that he didn't step foot in that room where the victims were beaten.
I mean, do you remember if AG had any blood on there? Because there's blood all over that room, right? If you were in that room for any amount of time, you'd probably have blood all over you too, right?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Did AG have a lot of blood on him?
I couldn't. He had a black shirt on.
True, but I mean, did he have any wet spots on him?
On the shirt, like smears on the shirt. That was it.
Some smears on his shirt. Did you accidentally bump into anything? Did you accidentally get any blood on you at any point? Did you accidentally touch something and go, damn? No?
So,
Okay. Have you washed those clothes that you wore in there since then?
no.
You been wearing the same clothes?
Yeah, because they're like fairly new.
Okay. What did you wear to the mall?
They were. Trying to think, what did I wear? I either wore my polo shirt or I think I wore my polo shirt. I don't know.
So were you wearing the same clothes in the church as you were on at the mall?
Yeah,
Okay. So you were wearing a Drew Brees jersey?
yeah. I wasn't wearing a bridge.
Okay. So the clothes you wore to the mall is the same you wore to the church?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're wearing it
Because we went straight from the mall, got the gas, got the Ace pills, went to the mall.
I
So
thought y'all went by the house.
Yeah, that's right, that direction.
No, but I thought you went to the house.
My house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My direction. Church, my house, Chevron, Mayfield.
did you change
Mall.
it? Did you change at your house?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
No, I changed.
Did AG change?
No.
Okay. Did anyone wash their hands, clean up, wash the gun? Because I knew there had to be blood all over the gun. Didn't wash the gun?
I don't even know where the gun's at. Last time I seen it, he had it last.
So no one washed up anything?
No.
Okay.
We didn't have that on me. I didn't have that on me.
True, but you didn't get that kind of icky feeling. You know, how, like
Yeah,
you,
I know something. Like feeling nasty or something.
yeah, you know, like when you even
Yeah, but I was in a rush to go to the mall.
why?
Huh?
Why are you in a rush to go to the mall?
Cause I know the credit cards, somebody might cut them off or something like that. Cause the credit card company knows your budget. And they know how you spend.
Mm-hmm.
You keep swiping, spending. Like those are like something like, I forgot what it's called, but the credit fraud place
Mm-hmm.
turns it off. Turns it off.
Okay, so you figured you'd hit it up while you could.
Yeah.
Did AG use any other credit card that you saw? And be real, I mean.
American, Bank of America, it was a red card with a flag on
Okay, Bank of
it.
America.
That's the card he had.
Okay, he was shopping with it while y'all were at the mall.
Yeah.
So I thought y'all were both buying stuff. Because the Parks Mall's got great video.
I know.
I he spent some money on it. Okay. Because I knew y'all were using cars, and y'all separated for a little bit, and then y'all come back, and y'all were kind of, I wouldn't say separated like y'all were like stores and miles apart, but y'all kind of browsed around a little bit on yourself, right? Okay.
I mean, obviously, the main thing here is whether or not you're willing to take responsibility and own up to what you did. Okay.
Do you think I did? Or
Yes.
Keep asking me this question.
Yes, I do.
Why is that?
Why? Because of stuff like, we talked about the belt that you have, and those little metal things.
Yeah, the white.
Yeah, two of them came off in that office where this happened. And
So you saying I'm the only person that did this?
no, I'm not saying you're the
No.
only person. No.
That
No.
would seem like. That would sound like to me.
No.
No.
No, if I said,
We've told you the whole time that we thought there was two of you. We thought it was you and AG.
no, Stephen, if I thought you were the only person, I'd tell you I thought you were the only
But
person.
why am I the only one being charged with capital murder?
Well, it doesn't mean you're the only one that's going to be charged with it. That's not what we're telling
The
you.
reason why AG's being charged with ag robbery and your capital murder is he's saying just basically the flip-flop of what you're saying. He's saying that I was over there to hit a lick and he took it too far. Yeah, I admit my part in the robbery, but he's the murderer.
I never had busted a gun. I never shot anybody. None of that.
And no one was shot. No one was shot.
I mean, I'm not a violent person. I'm not a violent person.
Somebody was.
The other thing is that when we talk to the DA and tell him our conversation with AG, we'll tell him what AG said and the opportunity we gave him, and we'll tell him about how the evidence that we have against AG and what lies AG told us and how he lied about his involvement and how he lied about you. And then we'll sit down and we'll tell him about the evidence that we have against you. And then we'll tell him about what we can prove about your involvement, and then we'll tell him about our conversation with you. We'll also tell him about whether or not you showed any remorse or not, and up to this point you haven't. And we'll also tell him whether we thought that you were lying or not. And honestly, I feel like you've lied a lot.
Now,
Well, I mean, you left out a lot about what you did. I mean,
I told you what I did.
well, some
well,
of it,
after-
some
after
of it,
I told you my point of what I did.
well, some of it you have, Stephen, you have,
Okay.
but some of it you haven't.
But you're not finna trick me into saying I killed somebody. I
No,
didn't kill nobody.
Stephen, I'm not trying to trick you.
And
Okay?
but that's what it would seem like what you're trying to get to is like I lied and left something out.
Stephen,
I didn't kill nobody.
well, let's break it down like this, okay? And I'll even take it a step further on what he's saying. Okay. Even if what you say is the God's honest truth, do you even realize, I mean, kind of where you're at in the world? You just admitted to an aggravated robbery, correct?
Yes, that I did. I'm telling you what I did.
But let me tell you where this gets into play, though. Okay, if you knowingly participate in an aggravated robbery, and during the course of that aggravated robbery, somebody's intentionally killed, even if you didn't do the killing, it's as if you did it yourself anyway. You're already party to the offense of this offense. You have committed capital murder, whether or not you think you did or not. So, at this point in the game, I mean, you've already told us you participated in a capital murder.
I didn't know that he was going to kill.
It doesn't matter. You should know that during the course of an aggravated robbery, things can sometimes go bad. And in this case, it did. Your only salvation right now is to not leave out anything. Your only salvation right now is to lay it all out there. Because when they bring this old lady up on the stand and say, "What happened?" What do you think she's going to say?
What?
We're going to show the pictures of her where her face is beaten to a pulp. Her own husband couldn't recognize her at the scene. She was beaten that bad. She was beaten so bad, her own husband could not recognize her. And when it comes down to it, and she says, yeah, he was doing this too. If you were looking in on this, you'd be pissed off too, wouldn't you? You told me earlier, if somebody did something bad to your family, you'd be pissed.
Yeah.
If you were a third party person, not us, not you, but if you were somebody judging this on the outside, third party, don't have a side on the side of the pastor or the lady inside, doesn't know you, and you were looking in on this, how would you feel? These two dudes savagely beat an elderly female and a pastor, a man of the God, man of the cloth, somebody whose only action in life is to better other people. Y'all robbed a church. This is Texas. Do you not think people go to church?
Everybody go to church.
Exactly. I mean, how are people going to feel about this? And you've already admitted to participating in it. Your only option at this point is to
What?
free yourself. Salve.
Okay, free yourself how? Why are you
Well,
beating around the bush?
Because what I'm trying to tell you is this.
What? I did not kill nobody.
But you had more
I
participation
had
than
no
what you
more than anticipated.
You did.
No, I didn't.
You honestly, I
Check
mean,
it, DNA. That's it.
look, Stephen, look at me.
Through.
Stephen's interview concluded, and he was escorted back to a cell, and the following day, detectives met with the district attorney where it was decided that both Stephen and Anthony would be charged with capital murder and attempted murder, an offense punishable by the death penalty in the state of Texas. Early the next morning, a detective contacted Judy Elliott's son, who informed him that she was awake, but unable to speak because her jaw was wired shut. While she wasn't well enough to be questioned, her son did manage to ask her one question. Was there more than one attacker at the church that day? As he and several nurses stood around, Judy weakly nodded her head to indicate yes. Shortly after this call, another break in the case would come when a man came into the police station claiming to be in possession of the stolen laptop. He advised detectives that he'd purchased it days earlier from a man with a white car at a Tire King, who'd offered it to him for $200. After failing to figure out the password, he took it to a computer shop to have the device wiped. But while the employee was examining the laptop, he discovered that the computer belonged to Clint Dobson and recognized the name from news reports about the murdered pastor. Not wanting to be tied up in the murder, the man immediately brought the laptop into the police. Now armed with Judy's testimony and the stolen laptop, the detectives went back to the Arlington jail to speak to Anthony one last time.
Puffy hair, like that's just.
All right, well then let's back up and let's talk real talk, Anthony, because you were at a tire shop selling that man a laptop at 1:30ish.
Hey, one time,
Anthony. Look, man, I'm not trying to mess with you.
I didn't. I promise.
Anthony. You just told me you have a very distinct look, and the video doesn't lie. Okay.
And he said that I was there selling him a laptop. I know that can't be true.
Why can't?
Because last time I told you, I don't know if y'all wrote it down, at 1:40, I looked at the clock. I was still with my baby mother, and we were about to get on 287 from 67. And I just said Romeo told me he was at a tire shop. So I don't know if he had got a laptop from that. I wasn't clear that.
Once again, you and Romeo don't look alike, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if I had the video, it wouldn't confuse you and Romeo, correct?
Of course.
Okay, well then, why were you at a tire shop selling?
It can't be no video. It can't be. Like that's just how sure I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? It can't be. Like, I just know that there is no video of me being there.
No, there is, because an officer talked to the gentleman.
Then I would have to see that.
The gentleman went to a computer store to get the computer unlocked,
Mm-hmm.
and the computer store said, well, I'll tell you what, we have to look at the password. And they opened it up and saw that it was the preacher's password and said, we're not touching this, and we're going to call the cops. So the guy drove immediately up here to the police station and turned it all over to us.
That's fine, but sir, I'm like, I don't know what, you know what I'm saying, the information y'all have,
Anthony,
but I can be more than sure, like I said, like this right now is like, this is like life or death, man.
Oh, you're right.
All I can see is my little girl, and like that's why I don't mind talking to you guys, like, at all, because like I want you to understand that I'm trying to be like totally 100.
Well, Anthony, well then let's keep it 100.
Okay.
Okay. You do realize that you are heavily involved in a capital murder.
Yes, and I do understand that.
So, when it comes down to it, who's got the worst criminal history in this whole big deal? You or Romeo? Who's the worst badass, if you will? Who's been in the pen more times?
I don't know.
Have you ever been in the pen?
No, I've never been.
Okay. How many times have you been taken to jail? Just a handful for minor stuff, right?
Yeah, just mine.
You have a family. Does he have kids?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So, you know, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Sorry, like,
Continuing, and Anthony, we talked to the lady today, and she said there was more than one person in that room.
it couldn't, like,
And
if there was, it wasn't me,
Anthony,
and I put that on everything.
Anthony, everything that I've been saying is that you're not the main aggressor in this whole big deal. But
I wasn't
hold on,
there.
Anthony.
And I'm
Anthony,
and I'm gonna stand on that.
Anthony, how are you selling a laptop in these?
I did not. On everything, like this is what I'm gonna tell you, like, and I'm gonna leave it at this, sir. Like, I was not at any tire shop. I told you that when I had spoke to Romeo, when I called him back from another phone, from my, because I couldn't answer my phone. But then eventually I had ended up putting my SIM card in there, and I had called him from my baby mother's and her friends. I was switching them out. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, give me my phone back. Yeah. So he had said something about a tire shop. That's why I said it's him. That's why it can't be.
What did he say about the tire?
He was there. He was just at a tire shop. He wanted me to meet him there. I was like, I'm not even nowhere close. You know what I'm saying? I haven't even left yet. You know what I'm saying? I didn't ask anything further than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, I'm just going to hit you up, you know what I'm saying, when I get close or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Anything further than that. And that's how I know for a fact that it's not me on a camera at a tire shop selling a laptop, because I haven't even touched the laptop. Like, and so far as me being there, I'm still standing on that. Like, that's like, I mean, like, it's just like, it's to the point where, like, that's why I don't even mind talking to you guys.
Anthony, let me ask you this. You know that we arrested.
Yeah, I seen him.
You saw him here because you said you saw him here. So you know he's here.
Yeah.
Okay. You know we obviously talked to him.
Yeah.
Of course we talked to him. He told us that you were there. Flat out told us you were there.
Of course he's gonna do that.
Why?
Of course he's gonna do that. He doesn't want to go down by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm guilty for knowing about it and not turning that in the police. After I knew what he did, there was no planning to it. I did not know that this man would go kill somebody and kill two people at life.
That's exactly what he's saying about
and that's fine. And that's fine. It doesn't matter what he's saying about me, because I know what I did. And if you want, y'all can go take them tire shops. Y'all can go look at all of that.
But when we talked to the lady, we asked her, because she's come around, and we asked her, you know, who all was there, how many people. They're saying you and Nelson, Romeo.
Like, sir, like,
Anthony,
I can't, like,
my question to you is this: why would Romeo?
Why would he lie?
Yeah.
Because I don't know him. I just met him Monday night.
I know.
I don't know him from a sack of biscuits.
Right.
2 sacks of biscuits. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Anthony,
you know, he's cool, you know what I'm saying? He was cool and out, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, like I said, yes, I am guilty. I should have turned this into the police. I shouldn't even affiliate myself with somebody who did something like that, because this stupid shit right here, like, you know what I'm saying? Me having to deal with this shit right here, and like that, I'm totally guilty for that. But so far as me even being a part of that crime,
but Anthony,
and me going to sell a laptop, I had no even idea of a laptop.
But Anthony,
you know what I'm saying? I told y'all what I knew of.
But hold on a second, Anthony, because when we talked to you the first time, and we were asking you what all happened and everything, you...
I didn't say a laptop.
You're right, and you left out this whole little thing.
What little thing?
The fact that he wanted to meet you at a tire station, the fact that you knew nothing.
But that wasn't necessary to what we were talking about. Like,
you don't think?
It rings a bell. Like, oh, okay, oh yeah, that's what you say. Yeah, that was him there. Like, okay, he did talk to me about a tire shop, but that's not just something like, oh, what you doing at a tire shop, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? And if that's the case, if I was there, then you know what I'm saying? Like, then I wouldn't even be mentioning something like
Anthony,
about no, you know what I'm saying? Like, about no tire shop. I would be like, oh.
But Anthony, my question about Romeo is, it's not like Romeo was trying to say he wasn't there. and he
I
said,
know he wants me to go down with him, and I refuse to go down
Anthony,
without a fight because, sir, man.
Anthony, listen to me for just a second.
Yeah, okay.
Don't interrupt me for just a second.
All right.
Okay, just give me
All
a
right.
chance to say something. If he was going to just try and make you go down, why wouldn't he just say that he wasn't part of it and that you did it all and leave himself out of it? He's not doing that. He's saying, yes, I took part in it, but you were with him. He says that he went in there and he did some of it. He's saying that.
Okay.
But he's saying that you were there with him.
And I'm telling you,
And then
And he said that.
and I'm telling
the deal
y'all,
was he gets the credit cards and you get the property.
and I'm telling y'all, none of that's true. None of that's true.
But then all of a sudden you're ending up in the victim's car. You have the victim's phone. You're at the tire shop. selling the
Okay.
victim's laptop.
No, I was not at a tire shop. I did have the iPhone. Okay, yes, that's true. I ended up with the victim's keys. Yes, that's true. But so far as me taking place in this, or even knowing about it, being at a tire shop selling a laptop, when I specifically told y'all where I was at what time, those are simply just lies. Simply lies because the fact that's why I'm speaking to y'all. That's why I can sit here and speak to y'all. You know, last time I got mixed up on my days and y'all was like, well, Anthony, you know, you kind of, you know what I'm saying? And I had to think. I had to gather myself. You know, I've never been in a predicament like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a hurtful person. Like even with the case with what's his name? Dylan. Yes, it was an aggravated robbery, but I didn't touch him. I didn't beat him. I didn't hit him. But the person I was with did.
Okay, is that what happened on this case?
I wasn't there on this case. With this case, I'm not even in the scene.
Unlike the previous interview, Anthony is speaking without hesitation or uncertainty. While he's normally quick to crack under pressure, when the detectives claimed to have evidence against him concerning the laptop, he confidently disputed it, rather than shying away or breaking down and telling a different story. These are indicators that he's actually being honest this time around.
For me to, okay, yes, I'm guilty for having the iPhone. For having the keys to the car, yes, okay, and for knowing about the situation and not even saying anything to the police, and not even calling it in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm guilty of that, sir. Like, you know, and that's another thing I'm gonna say in court too to the family. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry about that because you're right. What if this was my little girl? What if this was my mama or somebody? Like, I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, want nobody just to sit back and just know something and just, you know what I'm saying, like, not say no. You know what I'm saying? Like, this that I had to think about, you know what I'm saying, like, and the fact that I'm sitting here like I'm trying to be like
because Anthony, you
so
know what he says?
What?
He basically says that that's what happened on this case with him,
Mm-hmm.
is that he went along and then he just saw what happened. And he says that he was there.
But if that's the case,
well, he says he was there, and he says, yeah, I went in there and I saw what you did. He says, I saw what Anthony did to those people.
And but you just said a minute ago that he said that, yeah, he admitted to doing the work, but he said I would.
No. That he was there
And he admitted to being there, and that he admitted to knowing that there was going to be a robbery.
Yeah, and then he was there and he took stuff.
But he was saying, man, I was the lookout.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's what I meant. That he said that he was there, that he took part in it, like he took stuff.
Yeah.
But that you're the one that did the...
You waved the lady over
Before-
to the glass. She let
I don't
you
even
in.
know what the lady looks like. I don't even know what the man looks like. Like, I never even knew it was a freaking
Anthony,
church
I'm not telling you it's
cool.
true. I'm just
it's
telling you
cool.
what he said.
Yeah, it's cool. I understand that. Like I say, that's why I don't mind talking to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I sit here, you know what I'm saying? I be totally honest with y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind sitting here, you know, y'all, is it cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. I don't care, it's cool. Here, I can sit here and tell you that, you know, like, I don't know if y'all got the clocks off the towers and stuff and just different stuff like that, you know, that it'll tell you when, like, my points and times, like, my locations of phones, my phone call uses. If you go to my company, print out. I didn't even reach Arlington until about 2 o'clock. Like I told you, it might have been like 2:00 something, you know, something like that. But when I looked up at the clock at 1:40, I was about to get on 287 from 67. So okay, yeah, I probably made it to Arlington by like 2 something, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But prior to that, I was nowhere near Arlington, period. Like, I mean, you know, I don't expect y'all to know me from anybody or anything and expect to even believe anything that comes out of my mouth, but this is the honest to God, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I will fight till I can't fight no more, just so that these people, y'all can know, and anybody else who you know what I'm saying, who's hurt by this or who this affected, that let alone could I even sit here and hurt somebody, that I can sit here and take somebody's life.
Unlike Stephen, Anthony is showing an ability to empathize with those who were affected by the incident. Guilty suspects are typically so wrapped up in their own thoughts of escaping the situation that they neglect to think about the victims and who they've impacted. Anthony, on the other hand, seems much more level-headed than he was in the previous interview, enough to be able to analyze the situation as a whole, as opposed to focusing solely on himself.
And again, we're not saying
I
that
know.
part's true.
Yeah, I know, and that's cool.
We're not saying that
I know.
did the hurt.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That you basically, y'all want to know if I was there.
No.
And I wasn't there, you know. And that's
Anthony, here's the difference in that statement, though. Mm-hmm. We don't want to know if you were there. We know you were there.
Oh no, I wasn't there.
The question is, do you want to take responsibility for you being there in your actions? Because and Anthony, I mean, when this comes down to it, I mean, you can end this at any time. I mean, you have a right.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you guys don't even like believe me. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like I don't.
Well, Anthony, you
like,
got a hill to overcome, and right now you're not overcoming.
And like, man, like I got so much.
Well, did he?
Well, I was gonna say the worker across the street from the church at that time. So 2 guys came out the church, got in the lawn.
If it was 2 guys, I wasn't there. And that's on everything that I love, sir. Like, I saw you took my shoes. Those are the same shoes I've been wearing for like the past 3 or 4 days prior to that. You know, I haven't been by Sam's house. I haven't been by Sam's house to get any
Anthony, look at me for a second. What'd you do to your arm?
I think it was from laying on it in jail. I just recently got that.
Let me see your arm. Can you push your sleeve up? So
Yeah,
That's not from a day.
No, I swear, from everything. I show y'all, like y'all can take anything, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can look at all this, like I'm gonna be 100%.
Over so I can see if you. You think you did that from laying on your arm?
I know I did. Somebody just asked me, and I was like, man, where'd that come from? I know I did. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing nothing but laying on the floor sleeping. You know what I'm saying? My kidney stone been acting up. You know what I'm saying? So I've been laying down. You know, but
since we talked the other day, do you remember any more details about what he told you he did to him?
No, nothing.
Like
I never got into.
Did he say if he hit him? I know you said that he told you he smothered him. The pastor. He told us the other day that he said he smothered the pastor.
Okay.
Did he say what he used?
I didn't ask all that.
I know. But
you know, my initial reaction is when somebody tells me like, "Oh, yeah, I killed him." Like, I haven't never been around anybody who has told me like, "Yeah, I just killed him." Like, oh, no, I killed him.
Anthony, did you two
You know what I'm saying?
Anthony, hold on a second. Did you two rehearse this speech? Because I think we heard this just a little bit ago.
You know,
I'm not trying to sound funny.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is the exact same.
You don't have to sound funny. Yeah.
This is the same thing he told us. Is that, you know, man, when I
He gonna try to flip it around on me. I mean, I don't know him. I don't know this man. I didn't know if he was gonna come into this case like, oh yes, I did it. Anthony was not with me. You know, knowing that I got a little girl and stuff, you know, I mean, you know, it's cool. It's cool if he wants to play the game like that. Then I'm gonna fight because, of course, I came in here, I'm spilling the beans. I'm telling you guys what happened. I'm telling you who I know who did this. I'm telling you, of course he's gonna.
But Anthony, stop for a second and think about some of the things.
Mm-hmm.
I showed you a picture of Romeo, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Did you tell me his name prior to me getting a picture and showing you that?
Yeah, Romeo. Yeah, I said yeah.
But I already had a picture and everything stacked in my file here, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled it out to show you.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't that be indicative that I already knew who he was?
Yeah, because you told me that that you had caught him on camera using the credit cards, right? Didn't y'all say that?
Right. So,
okay.
But so it's not really like you spilled the beans on him because it's
Because-
already
yeah,
exclusive that I already knew what that was.
Yeah, it's just that it's because I had the car keys. So then that makes me, why do you have the car keys? But at the same time, it's like I got so much to worry about as a person, and not so far just as a person, but just stuff like that I want to fulfill so far as being a father, and me as a person is who I am. Like I could never, like, even like, you know what I've came up with the assumption with? Why I've been like, why have I even tried to do something like Rob Dylan, knowing that not a bone in my body could even hurt him? Why am I even putting myself in positions like this? I'm not even being real with myself as a person. I'm putting myself in predicaments, get me off in life, and I'm not even being myself. I'm going out here doing things knowing that, oh, well, if I do this, something could go wrong, then I'll be put in this position, and this is not who I am as a person. And that's not go wrong like as, oh, something went wrong like as in that case, because like I said, I wasn't there. I'm talking about like, if I've never been in a situation where I've had to hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? And like, even with the Dylan situation, I didn't touch him.
Right.
I didn't touch him.
But Anthony, you have to understand that whenever there's always patterns involved, and you say that I'm not a violent person.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't hurt anybody. But were you at a spot where a guy got beat up and his cell phone stolen and his drugs and his money during the McDonald's thing?
I was. I admit to that.
Okay, so if somebody came up to your mother, and we two go up to your mother, and I'm the one that beats up your mother, and all he does is grab her purse, would you include both of us as being violent because we're both going along and both?
I would include both of y'all.
Okay.
Both of y'all.
Okay. Well,
But-
so you're sitting there saying,
But
you're
I didn't
saying
take
that I'm being
any. So
real
I
with
took
myself.
drugs from Dylan. Dylan making a drug deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? But
No, he did.
Okay,
He
you
told
know what I'm
me.
saying? And this is my thing. Yeah.
But
I didn't assault Dylan at all. I didn't even touch him.
But
I took drugs from this man, but I didn't touch. I didn't.
While he was being held at
Like it-
gunpoint and getting beaten up.
The same person who pulled the gun on him is the same person who beat him up.
You're right. Absolutely
And
right.
and that's on everything I love. You know what I'm saying? Like
And just like that's not an issue.
that is an issue. That's not right.
No, you're right. Right. But the fact that no one's arguing or disputing the fact that in that case you told me that Chris James beat up Dylan and you stole his stuff, just like that's not being questioned, and there's no doubt in my mind that's exactly what happened. There's no doubt in my mind.
No, you wanna know? I took his drugs. But what I'm saying is I took his drugs being there a part of it. It's no way I can be like, oh, I wasn't there. I was there.
Right.
But it all happened in one motion.
Right.
The same person who got the drugs, same person who beat him up, is the same person who pulled the gun out on him. But I did not touch Dylan. I did not participate in this murder case. I do not have a hurting bone in my body to even think about murdering. I've never thought about killing anybody.
And we're not saying.
And this is what I'm saying. In the fact that this dude ran up in some church and killed a pastor and almost killed a lady, that right there is totally out of character. Because first of all, I grew up in church. I went to church for 8 years strong. Choir, plays, you know, just all this stuff. I had to be a part of because my parents. But besides that, me as a person, it's not me. I would never think to even just like rob a church. Why would I rob a church?
It's an interesting question.
Why would I rob a church? Why would I take somebody's life? Why would I take somebody's life? Why? Why a pastor, a man of God?
And Anthony, that's all.
A man of God. You know what I'm saying? Like a man of God. And I don't know, you know, whatever, if that was his wife or anything. You know, like I don't know, like in details. I don't even know what these people look like. But then to almost you know what I'm saying, like she was in critical condition, right? Is that what you said last time?
Yeah.
For him to even beat a woman to that critical, like that's crazy alone. You know what I'm saying? Somebody sitting here next to me like, oh, I killed him. That was crazy in my head. I'm like, what you mean? Like, so I'm like, okay, I'm like, what'd you do? You know what I'm saying? I told you that he told me he smothered him. Okay, he smothered him. Other than that, you know, I asked him, I was like, well, who? You know what I'm saying? And he had told me a woman and like, any other details like, oh, did you hit him like this or did you da. First of all, I wouldn't even ask him that question if I was there. So that's what I'm trying to tell you is that, like, so, like, I don't know, man. Like, I answer any question. Like, I don't know.
Let me ask you this: did y'all ever drive by the church?
No, I drove by the church.
When did you drive by the church?
I drove by the church. Was it a day or two after? Not sure. It had to be a day. Yeah, like a day after I had drove by the church because you know I live on Six Flags Drive. You know. And I was going that way, and I hadn't seen the church.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the first time.
Why did you drive by the church?
Because I was going that way to see my grandma. I live over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Division
really.
at Davis and Six Flags and Drive. You know, I know North Arlington like back in. You know,
right, but Division and Davis is nowhere near the church.
Yeah, I know. It's no specific reason why I'm just like, oh. I mean, you know, I seen the church. I drove by. I'm not gonna lie, I drove by. But that was just out the curiosity of my mind, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never heard of this church. I never seen this church. I never been to this church.
So what sparked you to go by that church?
The fact that I was already going that way.
From where to where?
From road to Six Flags, in between there to my grandma's. I don't know specifically where I was going.
Road to Six Flags and where?
In to Division and Davis, like that.
No, but road to Six Flags and what's the cross street?
360.
Okay.
So
that's you would have to go.
Matter of fact, I was with my friend. I was with Kelsey.
Gonna bring Kelsey back.
No, that's not that Kelsey. This is
Kelsey?
Yeah, this is a friend. Like, so I don't know exactly what we were doing, but I know that, you know what I'm saying, I was going to my girl. Oh, no, that's not what it is. I don't know what I was doing, but
So you drove 10 minutes out of your way to drive another 10 minutes out of your way to get back to your grandma's house.
To put it plain and simple towards you, prior to that, I had never seen that church. By the time I went by, I had seen that by the time I went by, it was like news places on the side of the building. You know what I'm saying? Whatever day that was, I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I had ever seen that church. Like, you know, man, I don't.
You didn't drive by that church with Romeo?
No, I didn't.
You sure about that? You want to go back to go get the guys Explorer?
I promise. I promise that I wasn't going back to get no car or anything. I drove by there, yes, I did, but I did not go back to get any car or anything. Why? Because first of all, okay.
But that's different. Why? You just said I didn't go back and get a car. Well, we know you didn't get the car.
Yeah. I'm saying, but you just asked me, are you sure you didn't? We're trying to go back and get the car. You know what I'm saying? Like I was letting you know.
Get the car.
I'm letting you know that that wasn't planned either. Like first of all, if I'm gonna go with somebody to do something like that, if you drive off in this car, my initial reaction is gonna be like, I'm gonna get this car. So therefore, that would just be the smart thing to do. If we're gonna take stuff, we're gonna take stuff. I'm not gonna end up like, oh, we're gonna do this crime, we're gonna take one car, then we're gonna come back and get another car. We just killed somebody though. It's somebody in there, and somebody's gonna find out that somebody's dead in there, but I'm gonna come back and get this car. No, that's stupidity. Why would I do that? But just to make it to make it clear that if I were there, then my initial reaction would have been to take the car. If I'm gonna go out here and do something, I'm gonna take responsibility for that. The reason why I did admit to the assault with Dylan, even though I didn't hit him, wasn't the one to take the drugs from him. But I was there.
Wait. You told me the first time that
I was
you
there.
took the cell phone, the second time just about
Look,
you're the one.
look, this
I
is-
took his drugs, but he didn't tell you that. Yes, he did. Okay, well he had his drugs stolen, but I didn't hit him. Yes, I stole from him, but I didn't hit him, and I didn't pull the gun on him.
Okay, but I'm there. That's just like you said earlier, making that decision. I'm there.
Right, stealing stuff while somebody else
I'm there. I'm there.
That's called aggravated robbery.
I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's why, I couldn't get I didn't do that because I wasn't the one to do this. I was there.
You right, but even while you're saying you're there, you're mitigating your responsibility in that. What I mean by that is you're lessening your responsibility in that. Because you're saying, did you know that y'all were going to go rob him beforehand?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well then, how do you sit there and say, well, yes, I'm not a violent person. Yes, I am. Yes. Hold on. Yes, I knew that he was going to rob him at gunpoint, but I'm not a violent person, and you can't really hold me wholly accountable for that, detective, because even though I knew my friend was going to rob him at gunpoint, all I did was take the drugs. Now I didn't hold the pistol on him. I didn't punch him. I didn't do any of that mess. But yeah, I knew that it was going to happen, and yeah, I stole something, yeah. But you can't. Okay. I'm not the evil man that I appear. Because
with that being said, the point I'm trying to prove is going back to what you're saying.
Right.
Like Anthony, I feel like you're not taking responsibility for what you did. The reason why I admitted to that with Dylan is because
we had you by the balls.
It's not even that. I gotta take responsibility. Even if I didn't touch him or and I wasn't the one to just take the drugs from him, I was still there. Mm-hmm. So that still puts me there. That's responsibility. I can't be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
But you even are still mitigating that though. Because you sit there in one hand and say, yes, I'm taking responsibility, but in the very next breath, you sit there and distance yourself from the same thing you just said a second ago. And it's the same.
I'm not even gonna lie, lad. I didn't give any details because I was more worried about the murder case and that even falling back on me because I was like, murder. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but Anthony, it shows a pattern though. It shows a pattern, and anytime we judge people, anytime we talk to people, it shows a pattern. And it seems like your pattern.
I'm gonna terminate this interview right now.
Okay. Well, Anthony, we're gonna take you back downstairs and get you back into the jail. Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
And like on everything, like I don't want y'all to think that I have any problem with you. Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like because like and I swear, like man.
Anthony, we are gonna take some pictures of your hands and the bridge there.
That's cool.
Hang tight for a second.
Oh, okay. That's why I had no problem talking to you guys, you know what I'm saying? Because, I know in my heart, you know what I'm saying, what I'm telling you is what's real, you know what I'm saying? Like, and for me to sit here, you know what I'm saying, and be able to talk to y'all guys about something that's serious, you know what I'm saying,
Well, Anthony, I'll also tell you, and I'm not trying to elicit a response, I'm not trying to...
Yeah, that's cool.
So, deal with this as is. I'm going to tell you that the other thing that may hold you up from being transferred to Tarrant is you're going to see a judge probably tomorrow about being rearranged.
What's that?
You're going to have to go, remember how you got one before the judge and you said you've been formally charged with aggravated robbery?
For this?
You're also going to be rearranged for capital murder and criminal attempt capital murder tomorrow morning, okay? Don't answer, you've already entered the interview, but I want to let you know that, okay? So you're not caught off guard when you go see the judge tomorrow morning.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. So don't respond. You've ended the interview.
That's crazy, like for real, like you said. So I'm being charged for what?
Capital murder, criminal attempt capital murder,
and criminal attempt capital murder,
and 1 count aggravated robbery for the previous deal. So you'll have 3 charges, and I have to get you rearranged in the morning. When I get that paperwork, I'll file it all with the Tarrant County prosecutor's office. But I already had a conversation with them today, and then they'll accept charges. You'll probably be over there by Wednesday. You're gonna have a bond of,
It's gonna be out the roof.
it's gonna be the same as on Stephen, Romeo.
I don't know what his is.
Romeo, he has $750,000 for the capital murder and $250,000 for the criminal attempt, plus your 150, so you're looking at 1.1
And
million. So, hang tight, drink your water. When the crime scene gets here, we'll get pictures of you and we'll get you back down, okay?
And with that, Anthony's hands were photographed and he was sent back to his cell, praying for a way to prove his innocence. Little did he know, his saving grace would come the very next day when his son's mother, Kelsey Duffer, appeared at the Arlington police station asking to personally speak with the detectives.
Obviously, there's a lot of things on Anthony's side that don't look good for him.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of things that don't look good for him. But at the same time, if this is honestly he wasn't there, fine. I need to know that. I will tell you right now, Kelsey, that it's in my opinion, based on the evidence that I've seen and the evidence that I have, that's highly unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I know people, and this is going to come off wrong again, but I just don't want to see there be anyone else that may be trying to help him that end up hurting themselves too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I just always ask.
I understand everything.
Okay, okay.
It's not worth you getting yourself in a jam over this.
No, it's not. My mom already told me that.
Okay.
But I have no reason to lie, and
Well, you do because you care about Anthony, right?
And y'all do have a kid together, and you know.
You don't want him to get in trouble. But you need to be truthful.
I am.
Okay. Well, that's all we can ask. Okay. As long as you're telling the truth, that's fine. That's good.
Why are you so upset?
It's because he was just at my house, and that phone call came, and I know he had nothing to do with it at all. Maybe he had the preacher's iPhone, but they told him that when they told him that was his phone, he got rid of it. He didn't want no part in it. That's why it upsets me, because I know he had nothing to do with it.
Well, who told him that he had the iPhone?
Romeo told him that. That's what he told him.
But you said that they told him that. Who else?
Romeo.
But
That's
who
it.
else?
That's it, Romeo. And Romeo was bragging about it, and his friend told me that when he told Anthony to not have that phone because it's not worth getting in trouble for it.
Do you know if? And I'll just ask you. Do you know? Because women typically know their men better than men know themselves. So, do you know what's been going on in Anthony's life here recently?
It has been. He has changed a little bit, but he does his music and takes care of our kid with us, and he doesn't get into stuff like that.
Well, do you know if he's
he's
robbed anyone else?
He has in the past, but
When you say the past, what does that mean?
like just in the past he has.
When the past, what does that mean to you?
It's just like the past.
How long ago?
I don't.
Days, weeks, months, years?
I just know that he has in the past. I don't know what he's done. I don't know.
Since you've been together with him?
Mhm.
Okay, so at least within the last, you have a 1-year-old together. So that puts you about, 2 years at least knowing him? So within the 2 years you've known him to rob people?
No, he's. That's not as I know him to rob somebody or even kill somebody. That's not him. It's not.
Well, he has robbed somebody.
He has, but
I mean, he even confessed to you that he robbed somebody. So, and he did it at gunpoint. Now he's mitigating it that...
The robbery.
The robbery.
robbery.
The robbery that he told you about. With the white boy and the drugs.
He told me about it, but I don't know it.
Right. So, I mean, he confessed to you that he has robbed somebody and there was a gun involved. So, maybe you don't know Anthony as well.
I don't know about the gun, but I know he's robbed the boys.
Right. So maybe you don't know Anthony as well as you think. I'm not saying anything, but if you're willing to go along and rob a dope dealer at gunpoint, what's going to stop you from doing anything else? So it's not like this is out of character. It's not like I'm thinking that you may have been at this scene.
Oh, just.
And I'm just making sure, your cell phone's not going to be bouncing off in North Arlington, is it? You didn't drop these guys off anywhere? You didn't immediately give them a ride afterward?
No, I dropped them off at the gas station and left. That's all. That's all I did.
Did you pick him up anywhere prior to that?
Anthony?
Yes.
Or the other boy?
Anthony.
Yeah, I picked him up on Wednesday
Wednesday.
from the place he got arrested at.
Okay. Over in those apartments?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about the other guy? Did you ever take him anywhere?
Romeo? I've never talked to him. I just seen him and I've been around him one time, that's it.
Okay. Well, you know, I don't have to tell you at this point. I'll take it into consideration. It's not going to free him. There's going to be some other things we're going to have to come out. We're going to have to make sure that we get everything else in a row. But Kelsey, I do want you to realize that, and I'm not saying this to scare you or anything, I'm just telling you to be aware, just like I tell everybody else. If this is bad information, if you are in fact giving false information, that is false report to a police officer, and that is chargeable. If I do find out that in any way you helped these guys immediately after this, that means you took a benefit, making you party to the offense. Okay? So I always put that out there anywhere. I mean, I commend you for coming in and talking to us. I know that's never an easy thing. But just realize that if there is anything that needs to change or anything else in your statement that I need to know, let me know. Because right now it's just not looking good on Anthony. And I don't want you to go down on a sinking ship either. Okay? I mean, God forbid, let's honestly say that, I mean, it does come out that he was in fact in Venus. If nothing else, this ought to tell you the character of Anthony. Let's not worry about his friends.
Yeah.
Because you barely know him. By your own admission, you barely know most of his friends. So let's not cut that in. But this ought to tell you what he's about. By the mere fact that he would have a friend that would do this, by the mere fact that even after knowing about his friend murdering a preacher in the house of God, and then going out and using the credit cards, driving around in the guy's stolen car.
Did they say that Anthony used the credit cards?
I have video of
That he
him
did
using
use
them.
it?
Yes. What do you think they tried to do? Whose credit card do you think that was that tried to give you gas?
I
It was the
didn't know
dead
anything
preacher's
about that.
card.
I never knew anything about that.
You're right. You're right. But by your own admission, you knew he just hit a leg. Where do you think that came from?
I didn't know.
Do you think robbers have good credit?
No, but anybody can have a credit card.
You're right. But if I tell you I'm about to go rob a bank and I show up with $100 bills, where do you think I got those $100 bills?
Probably from the bank.
So Kelsey, I know you're young, but you need to start thinking. And you need to start hanging out with a better class of people. Because these people here, if they're willing to do this, what aren't they willing to do?
Well, all I know is Anthony didn't kill nobody, or he may have did the credit card, he may have had the phone, whatever, but he didn't kill anybody.
And how do you know that?
Because he was with me that whole day, and there's no, from that Wednesday to when I dropped him off, there's no way. No way. And I even told him, because I heard it on the radio about the preacher, and I even told Anthony about it. And I said that, because I called my mom even, I was like, because somebody called from their cell phone to the radio station and said that that's what happened, but they said kids was involved. And then, so that's when I called my mom, and I told her, and I told Anthony about it too, so I know he had nothing to do with it.
Was that before you took him to meet?
I can ask my mom, because I was by myself when I heard it on the radio, so I was
Okay.
probably going to get, no, I wasn't going to get him,
Going to get who?
Anthony.
I thought he was at your house.
He was, but when I heard it on the news,
Uh-huh.
I mean on the radio,
Kelsey,
there was no...
let me back up a second,
Go
okay?
ahead.
I've realized that we have talked to Romeo. Romeo told us you picked them up, or you picked Anthony up at his apartment in North Arlington and drove with them to go get gas. So I want you to be perfectly clear. If you knowingly accepted a benefit, immediately knowing after they just robbed somebody, you're guilty of at least credit card abuse.
Dude.
So Kelsey, I want you to make sure that you're perfectly clear. Okay, that's why I'm not trying to be
And
rude with you.
there was two
but-
other girls
but-
with me too, though.
You're right.
If
You're right.
Romeo said I was by myself,
No, he didn't.
he didn't. Okay, because there was two other girls with me, and they came just from my house. We all did. And not Romeo, though, because Romeo was in another car.
But see, I thought you were at your house there. You didn't. Did you go pick up Anthony? Where
I
did you pick
picked
Anthony up?
At that place y'all arrested him.
But that was when?
On Wednesday morning.
Okay.
He stayed the whole Wednesday day with me. He stayed the whole Wednesday night with me. Then the Wednesday after 11 something, that's when my friend came over, and then another girl came over. And
What
so
day was that?
Huh?
What day was that?
On Thursday, my birthday. And then Friday was my daughter's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then at 12 something, that's when I got a phone call saying that he was in jail.
So did you pick up Anthony on Thursday? Where'd you pick him
No,
up?
Wednesday. I picked him up Wednesday.
Did you pick him up somewhere on Thursday?
No, he was with me. And then I dropped him off. And then I didn't talk to him now. The rest of that Thursday night and on Friday.
Who was with you when you dropped him off?
Darian and Robin.
Where'd you drop him off?
On Mayfield at the Chevron next door to.
Now see, that's
Reverend.
different though, because that's not what Anthony told us.
There's a tape. You can go look at a tape because.
We have the video.
Okay, it's gonna be on Mayfield.
That's different
on
with
Mayfield.
what. That's what. Yeah, that's different from what Anthony has told us.
Mm-hmm.
That's different from what Romeo has told us. And that's different from your initial statement, because initially you said that you were with the two girls at your house.
I was,
But
and
you-
Anthony was
but-
with us too.
Right. And that's when the phone call came in.
Mm-hmm.
But you omitted the fact that these two girls were with you at Mayfield and 360 when you dropped him off at the gas
They
station.
drove with me out to Arlington, and that we drove back to Venus.
So,
Did you tell us in the very beginning that the girls were with you?
Yes, they were with me, and they were with me the whole time, from when they came over to my house to when I dropped them off. And I even think those girls were with me when Romeo called Anthony and asked him, "Can you come help me?" But I don't know if they was there, but I'm pretty sure they were, and they heard the same thing too.
and what time was that phone call again?
I'm not sure because Darian got out of school at 11:30, so it had to be after.
Darian was there when that phone call was made?
Yeah,
Where does Darian go to school?
Venus.
Okay, so a 10-minute drive or what?
No, you could walk to school from my house.
Where were y'all physically? What were y'all doing when Romeo called Anthony?
I was sitting on the bed and Anthony was sitting on my daughter's bed, like right across from me, and that's how I remember it because he was asking him, do you want to help me? I'm about to go hit this lick. Anthony told him no.
And did Anthony have his phone with him at that time?
His cell phone? Mm-hmm. Because it was on speakerphone.
What exactly did Romeo expand upon what the lick was? Or?
He didn't say. He just said, "I'm gonna hit a lick." That's all he said.
And Anthony didn't inquire first?
Mm-mm.
Said, no, I'm not interested?
He said no. He said, call me later when you're done with that," because he didn't want no part in that.
Why not?
Because I guess he was playing smart. I don't know.
Well, I
don't know
remember,
if that's
when I was listening to y'all's jail conversation, you made mention actually about the thing the day before.
What?
I don't know, you said something about, is it from the thing, because you made mention, he told you that he got caught up and we were questioning him about the murder.
Mm-hmm.
And you made mention back to him, because he said that he told you that Romeo was out there hitting licks and stuff like that. And you said, oh, what, from the thing the day before? And he's like, no, shh. And then y'all changed subject a bit. What exactly did you mean to the thing the day before? Was Romeo scouting anything the day before? Were you misquoting and something else? Were Romeo and
You might have heard
Anthony?
me wrong because I don't.
Was Romeo and Anthony hanging out the day before prior to
No.
you picking them up?
I don't know. I don't think so.
When was the last time that you knew of Romeo and Anthony to have hung out?
A long time ago. I
So you
forgot about
clear-
Romeo.
Okay, so you clearly don't keep up with Anthony the way you think you do then.
He's always at that same place all the time where he.
Right, but so you would agree that there's probably some happenings that go on either at that apartment or with them that you don't know about.
Mm-mm.
People that come over and hang out with him. How are you going to know if you're not there?
I go over there a lot.
So
We
then you
spend
would.
most of our time together.
Well, let me ask you this: do you know about Anthony and Romeo trying to go out and rob people Tuesday night?
No.
Okay.
I don't know anything about any of that. I didn't even know if this is what they tried to do, if they did try to do it.
Right. You left your house at what time?
5 minutes after, 11:35, sorry.
Okay, that's what. So you left about 11:35, picked her up, then went to the store?
And then went back to my house.
How long were you gone?
The store is right down the street from my house, and the school is the other way.
So 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour?
15 minutes at the most. That's how long I was gone in my car.
What was Anthony doing when you left to pick up your friend at the school?
He stayed at my house.
What was he doing though? What was he doing when you left? Was he in the shower? Was he
He
eating
was just
breakfast?
laying down.
Still sleeping?
He wasn't asleep, but he was just laying down.
What was he wearing?
A black shirt and some sweatpants.
Black shirt with a design on it,
Yeah,
or a
plain.
solid plain black t-shirt?
Yeah.
Jersey?
And actually, he had some basketball shorts on, and he left the sweatpants that he wore over there at my house, and he wore some shorts.
Basketball shorts?
What else did he have with him when he was over at your house?
Just his phone.
So Anthony just told you to drop me off in Mayfield?
At that gas station.
How'd you get there?
Well, they talked on the phone, and Anthony told him that's where they can meet.
Okay. When did they talk on the phone the second
I
time?
guess on the way there.
You heard him?
I didn't hear him, but that's where.
Okay, I thought if you were driving him and he always talks on the speakerphone, how did you not hear him on that one? So you're expecting, and again, I'm asking. You hear a phone conversation at your house where he's on speaker. You tell us he always talks on speaker. In that case, that it's always...
He doesn't always, but most of the time he does.
Most of the time. So in that case, for that phone call, you heard him and you specifically, do you want to hit a lick? No. But then when you're driving in a car to go drop him off to a possible murder, that phone
I didn't
call,
know
I don't know about this one, detective. I mean, that just doesn't seem plausible that you would hear the one, and then if this is typically that you would take the
They
other.
didn't talk about anything. That boy, all they said was, meet
then
me
how
at the gas
did-
station. That's all.
But when did he say that?
It had to be on the way there.
Okay, so did you hear that conversation?
I didn't hear the boy, but I heard Anthony saying, just meet me at that gas station off Mayfield. And he told me to go to Mayfield.
How long were they on the phone talking while you were driving?
Not long.
Did Anthony call him or Anthony's phone?
That boy
rang?
called him to see where they were supposed to meet. And then that's when I went to the gas station, dropped him off at the gas station, and went back to Venus.
What else did you hear Anthony say?
Nothing. That's all.
Did you hear him call his nickname? Did you hear him say
Romeo?
his name?
No, but I knew when I dropped him off.
Okay.
To that gas station from your place in Venus?
Yeah, and straight back home.
What major highway did you take?
360.
Okay.
Back.
Huh?
360. Back and from there and back.
Okay. You know that Arlington, all over the place, and other cities, but Arlington has street cameras and traffic cameras.
Okay.
Whether you ran a red light or pulled through a stop sign or sped or not, it picks up live video of all the traffic on all streets and intersections where there are cameras.
Okay.
Big highways like 360, big streets like Mayfield, they have cameras.
Okay.
So if we freeze frame your car, which is what?
PT Cruiser.
That's the car y'all were in?
Mhm.
What color is it?
Red.
Okay. Is it registered to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll have the license plate, we'll be able to identify the car. We'll search for around the times you're talking about. We're going to be able to, are your windows tinted?
No.
Okay, even easier for us then.
Okay. There's only 2 girls in the back and Anthony in the front.
You're sure about that?
Positive. Wasn't doing nothing.
You do realize that there is a female survivor and she is going to be able to tell us everything.
And I hope she does, because it's going to tell y'all that I hope she does.
Okay, well then I tell you what. We'll just leave it like this.
In the following weeks, detectives would indeed review highway footage and cell phone data to pinpoint exactly where Anthony was during the time of the murder. And as it turned out, he was right all along. All evidence pointed to Anthony being nowhere near North Point Church when the attack took place, proving definitively that Stephen actually did commit the crime alone. Following this discovery, Anthony's murder and attempted murder charges were dropped, and he could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Shortly after, he was released on bail for the robbery charge and allowed to go home to his daughter. As for Stephen, he would live out his days in prison awaiting his trial. But during this time, his dark thoughts would get the better of him once again, and he would allegedly take another life while in prison. Other prisoners testified that in March of 2012, Stephen killed a mentally challenged prisoner named Jonathan Holden after he made a racist remark in front of him and other colored prisoners. Stephen allegedly presented Jonathan with a noose made of blankets and instructed him to fake an attempt at taking his own life so he could be moved to another unit since he wasn't welcome there anymore. Jonathan complied, putting the loop around his neck and passing the other side through the highest cell bar. That's when Stephen allegedly took hold of the other side of the blanket and, placing both feet on the cell door for leverage, pulled the makeshift rope tight and held it for 4 minutes until Jonathan stopped moving. Immediately afterward, prisoners reported witnessing Stephen do an animated happy dance, even playing a broom as if it were a guitar. During his trial 7 months later in October of 2012, numerous witnesses were called to testify and give impact statements, including the prisoners who saw him kill Jonathan and the pastor's widow, who tearfully stated, "We always tried to see the good in people. I didn't know this much evil existed in the world." However, despite all the evidence against him, Stephen maintained his innocence and adamantly claimed that he didn't kill Clint or attack Judy. He testified that he, Anthony, and another friend of theirs committed the robbery together and that they actually battered the victims while he largely acted as a lookout. But his testimony didn't outweigh the evidence, and on October 8th, he was found guilty on all charges and given a rare sentence preserved for only the most heinous and irredeemable criminals: death. Following his conviction, he was moved to death row at the Allen Palunkey unit, where he would remain for the next 12 years. He attempted to appeal his sentence twice, and his appeals moved through 3 different courts, but they all rejected it and upheld the initial sentence. However, to everyone's surprise, he wasn't his only supporter. Parishioners and religious leaders from all over Texas gathered to protest Stephen's execution, adamant that it wasn't the decision God would want made. His sentence caused a great divide in the religious community that lasted many long years, but ultimately, their efforts wouldn't be enough to stop his fate. On February 5th, 2025, Stephen, now 37, was led out of his cell to the execution chamber. While being strapped to the table, he repeatedly told his wife, who'd married him while he was incarcerated and was watching through the spectator window, that he loved her and was grateful to have had her by his side. When asked for his last words, Stephen reportedly stated, "It is what it is. I'm not scared. I'm at peace. Let's ride, Warden." As he was given the first injection, a sedative, he looked at his grieving wife, telling her, "Let me go sleep." And once his eyes had fallen shut, he was given the second injection to stop his heart. After trembling for a few seconds, the heart monitor flatlined and he fell completely still. Stephen was pronounced dead at 6:50 p.m.